All right, so mindful of the mic, and welcome back to this episode of Talk Smack with Mac. It is going to be a good one. You can fix yourself if you need to.
I was like, damn, you already started.
She said it's getting a little spicy in here. I got to take my sweater off. The cameras are on. The lights are on. It's hot as hell. It's going to be an exciting episode. I have some talented women on the podcast, and we're going to talk a little bit of relationships while sipping a little bit of mimosas. I'm the only man in the building tonight, so I'm a little nervous other than Jax, but he is going crazy in the room, so we're going to leave him in there. My Jax. Puppy, by the way. But yes, we'll go in a circle, and I would just say a little bit about y'all. We have Adriane on the pod, phenomenal actress. What is the name of the slasher joint that you got coming out soon?
Oh, Brute 1976.
Oh my God. So that is, the ones that know me, that's like the definition of the shit I like to watch. That 80s slasher, cabin slasher, Wrong Turn, the Hills Have Eyes type shit. Yeah. And I'm just like, I can't wait to check that shit out.
Traumatizing.
Me too.
Yes. Right next to Adriane, we got Lluvia on the pod, musician, singer, actress. And she does some things 9 to 5. If she wants to talk about that, maybe she will. No.
Maybe the after 5.
Hey, you got to break her off a little commission if you're talking about that shit, though. You have a role in Vegas Traffic. Yeah?
Yes.
Yes, Vegas Traffic.
Brief little moment in there.
Yeah. Okay, well, shit, you're in that motherfucker. So, yes, I know that's right. Hey, she was on there and did one of these. Hey, it counts. It counts. Adding that to the resume. Vegas Traffic is a movie based in Las Vegas talking about human trafficking. I definitely want to check that out. Talk Smack with Mac. Official alumni Kevin Sanders, he's in there and he's the star and he looks like he's just kicking some ass like Jet Li. So I want to check that out. And then last but not least, we have Felecia on the podcast enthusiast, former actress. Maybe she'll do it again. Maybe she won't. But I know she's going to be talking on that microphone tonight. It's going to be a good time, man. I really appreciate all of the time that you guys are giving to me tonight to talk about a little bit about relationships. But yeah, how y'all feeling?
Well, I'm good now after this mimosa.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm not sure I'm ready for this.
I thought I was doing something at home, but coming over here, I'm on one. I'm ready to talk that smack.
All right. Let's talk that shit. All right, so before we get into relationships, I told y'all I have a new segment that I have on the show called Take After Take. And this is going to be the second time I'm doing it. I'm really excited. The first time we did it, it went very well. So we'll do a little warm-up round. Let's see. I got some questions right here.
All right, we're ready, ladies.
Nervous.
Ooh.
Take that deep breath. Like,
which Disney movie steals hearts more? Frozen or Moana?
Oh, you're talking about those two.
I know. I thought you were going to give us like our pick.
I know.
Oh.
I'm such a Frozen girl. Like my daughter, she would sing Let It Go to the point to where if somebody ever tries me, I'm singing Let It Go. Just let it go. You know? And Moana, I mean, it's a really good movie because it teaches about independence, I believe. But I never finish Moana. I always fall asleep.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
It's like I get to the same part every time I fall asleep.
Yeah.
When she's on the boat going out to sea. I know, that's where I used to fall asleep.
I'm like,
well, then I guess you have your answer.
Yeah, for sure.
The one you don't fall asleep on.
My daughter's Hawaiian, though, so it's like I'm kind of biased a bit.
Yeah, I get that. I get
so
that.
Yeah.
I am torn between the two because I genuinely do like Frozen. I love the singing and the sister love that they have, that it wasn't, I'm not all about, oh my God, it's good that, a man wasn't the one that saved her. It's not about that. I just genuinely like
the sisterhood.
everything, about it. But Moana also gets me because, like the love that she has for her people. Yeah. And also, I don't know if this is true, but they're saying that Moana, I know you haven't seen it, so spoiler alert, but they're saying that she actually died. Within her, like they made it seem in the movie that she didn't, but the reality is it's actually she died, and that was her spirit coming back and saving her
with
people,
her grandma, right?
Yeah, or something. So I was like,
okay,
that made me sad even more. I was like, oh my God, that's my point.
I mean, since we only have these two choices, I'll go with Frozen. But yeah.
That's
all I got.
Yeah.
All right, that was just a warm-up round.
Okay.
All right, let's get into it. Who do you picking, Quentin Tarantino or Martin Scorsese?
Tarantino for me.
Quentin Tarantino, yeah, for sure.
Damn. Okay, I'm a Tarantino guy too. Okay. Better sci-fi guy. Ridley Scott or James Cameron?
James.
I mean, Ridley Scott's library is bigger,
That is true.
so I feel like that's the way I'd go.
Yeah, I don't think I have a preference either way.
I mean,
to
but James
choose.
Cameron has Terminator and
I was gonna
Avatar.
say because of
That's
those
the
two is
Terminator.
what I was gonna say. I was
Yeah.
like, those two really take the
Yeah,
cake.
definitely.
So maybe
It's a hard
James
one.
Cameron.
It's a hard one.
Yeah.
They're all really good.
Yeah.
So.
Because they're so like Terminator. I grew up with Terminator, so for me it's like
Same.
you know I feel like Terminator 2 on Terminator, and then Avatar for me. We would say Avatar, right? Yeah. Oh my gosh, I was like,
The
am I
new
thinking of a
Avatar,
different
right?
one? When
Both
I
of 'em.
watched the
Yeah.
second one, it was in this movie theater where it was like all the walls were like you were in the experience, and I was like in awe. I was like this movie
Such a
and the
beautiful
create
movie.
the creative aspect. I see a lot of behind the scenes. I love behind the scenes of making movies and how the actors were just like
Adjusting.
yeah.
to,
I
like,
always
the lights and stuff.
before I knew about acting, I always wondered how did they make these characters that are obviously not real. They're they're like drawn or whatever. They look like these actors. Like, how do they do it? Now I know, obviously, but I always found that fascinating. I just find it amazing.
Same.
So you went James Cameron, and
I guess I'll go with Ridley Scott. But I mean, I love them both. So
they're both good. All right. More range. Jamie Foxx or Will Smith?
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx.
Unpredictable.
Wait,
Wait.
don't look at me like
Is this
that. I'm like,
acting?
wait a minute, I was like, what are we-
I
Yeah.
said more range.
Well, more range.
I've seen
I would say Will
Smith
Smith.
so many things.
But Jamie Foxx
Like,
can
trust me,
impersonate.
I love
Since
Will
Fresh
Smith.
Prince of Bel-Air down to
He's
his
not.
don't take your
Oh
name
my
wipe on my
gosh,
mouth.
his movies
or whatever.
are amazing.
But his like
But
the
Jamie
fact
Foxx
that
can
Jamie
impersonate.
Foxx, yeah, I mean he's literally an impersonator. So he
Yeah.
did. I mean, just him doing.
up.
Django to Ray Charles.
I
Man.
know
Ray
that.
Charles.
Jamie Foxx
Oh, that's
show.
true.
But
That's
then, like,
true.
I mean, like, go way back to like Shanae and like
Jamie Foxx
Okay,
show, Living
you're
Color.
right. You're right. It's because I guess they're both
Brought
funny
it
to
back
me.
to-
And he did.
Yeah, they
I
both
didn't realize how funny.
lips.
Like, I love Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
I've always said I wanted Jamie Foxx to sing on my wedding, right? And I know, right? But like, I did not realize how funny it was. I mean, besides the Jamie Foxx show, but I've seen like a stand-up comedy where he was just speaking freely, and he was talking about LL Cool J. He was talking about the movies he was in, and I was just like, oh my gosh, he is so funny. And then what recently happened to him, and then his recent comedy show, it made me really understand him as like an artist, not just a singer, but just overall as like a person. And Will Smith is so phenomenal. Like, there's no other Will Smith, but I don't think he can impersonate like Jamie Foxx. I don't think he can make me
I
laugh
guess you're
and
right.
like
I think
make me laugh and love him at the same time. Like,
But he hasn't really ever like stepped that far out of himself to do
Definitely.
characters like that.
Right.
So that's
is
why I
true.
say.
Yeah,
but again,
true.
I mean, he's phenomenal,
Right.
And like he's like a
But you
he
asked
is where he
about
is.
range, so
Yeah, the
it's
range
true.
is-
Yeah.
Then it would be Jamie.
yeah.
Not to mention, Jamie is playing the piano.
Yes.
He's singing. He's
Singing.
stand-ups
Did you guys see
and
Rio, the little
movies.
kids movie? Like, his range goes over the map.
Like Will Smith, he's
Yeah.
a dual act for sure. He's got the
top
rapping and
5.
he's got the acting.
For sure.
And if you want to just go with star power, I would go with Will Smith and
Yeah.
the blockbusters that he's had over time.
Yeah.
But range, that man, Jamie Foxx, is something else.
Something else,
If
for
you
sure.
watched his new special, he made you laugh, get mad, cry, and feel bad and sorry and excited all at the same
And he
time.
sung at the end to
Man.
remind you, I'm still Jamie Foxx. There's no replacing me. And I was like,
Yeah.
He made me
Wow.
feel like I should have moved to Atlanta or some
Yeah,
shit. You know what I'm
definitely.
saying? So shout out
blame
to
it on
Jamie Foxx.
alcohol.
We have somebody who wants her to sing at her wedding. I'm just saying,
And
Jamie.
if you can, just sing the song like you did to Fancy on Jamie Foxx show. Thank you so much.
Oh man. Okay. So next one. Better show. Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones.
Game of
Breaking Bad.
Thrones. I've never seen Breaking Bad, so I cannot say anything about
I've
it.
never
I
seen
know
Game
I've
of
been meaning
Thrones.
to
But you
watch
said
it.
Game of Thrones so quickly?
Because that's the only one I've seen.
I've never seen
first.
Game of Thrones.
Oh my god!
what is going on?
You see that? You see? She
All right,
hasn't
yeah.
seen the show.
Like, they're like, why? And I'm
Listen, say what you want about the end. I agree to some extent. At the end of the day, when it was happening, the show was on. the entire world was freaking watching and was going down as one of the best shows in history.
That is true.
So I say Game of Thrones because, it's the only one I
I'll
watch.
second that just because she did bring up, like, everybody was watching that last season.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my God. And the bar, it was like
Parties.
all over.
Yeah.
Maybe
I don't
I
think
should just
they had that
watch
for
it.
You
Breaking
should.
Bad.
It's
I should
long,
just
but
watch
it's good.
Yeah, maybe I should. I'm just the type of person, like, when they talk about shows, music, and they talk about it so much, I wait till the hype goes down, and then I go back and listen to it.
I watched Game of Thrones when the last season was airing. That's when I started. Well,
That's
I
good.
mean,
You could binge watch everything.
before that, I started watching it, but Game of Thrones, I stopped watching it twice. I tried to watch the first season. I said, damn, this shit is slow. And then I watched it a second time. I said, I don't fucking know who these people are, man.
Yeah, what's
and I was
going
like,
on?
all right, let me put on the subtitles.
Yeah,
That way
that's
I-
me.
That
That's
way I
me,
can start
for sure.
matching names with people, right? And then I was being told, you got to get past the third season.
Yeah,
Okay, so I'm thinking in my head,
Third
if
season.
anybody ever says...
What was the third season? Is that the Red Wedding?
I
What
haven't
was
get
it?
that many
I don't know.
episodes to get fast.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you
so I'm
never-
saying,
I
so
never-
anybody that ever says wait until the third season of anything, I'm not gonna
lost
watch that shit.
You lost.
That's
I mean,
too
like,
much
2
commitment.
seasons
For sure.
to get good. I think it was great since the beginning because I kind of saw, not that I'm like, really good at anything, but I'm saying since the beginning, you can tell like Aya was going to be like, the way she was training, I was like, oh, that little girl is going to have a very important role somewhere later down the line. I don't know what it is, but there's a reason why they're,
I like shows like
preparing
that.
her for it.
So it's like
Yeah.
their character buildup is
The-
long.
Since
the
she was a
character-
little girl.
The character
Okay, I
arc
like
and
that.
development of
Yeah.
so many characters
Okay.
in that show is amazing.
Yeah, that's why I was like more curious of like where are they taking this now? I was
Yeah.
confused a little bit at 1st I had to rewatch it 1 or 2 times to understand truly like the White Walkers and all the other storyline. But I truly everything about it I feel that went into it was just amazing. Like I still feel.
And
it's
this is
one
a
of the best.
sequel that has movies, right? Like the movies have came out? No?
No movies, but it has a prequel.
Okay.
House of Dragons, yeah.
So maybe I'm thinking about
Yeah,
something
House
else.
of Dragons. Something.
That was kind of boring too. I stopped
Yeah.
watching that.
I
watched
stopped
like
watching
3
it
House of
episodes. I was
Dragons.
like, man.
older.
I've seen like the first 2 episodes. I'm like, yeah, no. Thank
You have to see though the well. I don't know. I
I have
guess
to be more open-minded as well. So
yeah. Try it.
House of Dragons is a hard show to get into. I mean, it's doing well, but I mean, it's
It's
after-
doing well because of its predecessor.
Because of the hype that it's riding on from
Game of
Game of
Thrones,
Thrones, and it's on by itself, I would have been like, this is boring as hell. But I will say, I'm not a fan of who they casted as the adult versions, for just different reasons. But I did like who their younger people were. The young main lead actress, I forgot her name. I think she's great, and she plays like a really young girl, but she's an adult because she kisses a grown man in the show. You're like, I really hope she's over age, But
I'm Googling ages and shit. I'm like,
she's
man,
young.
hold
She's
on.
young. That she can pull both off. So it was great. But I did like that, and I gave it a chance. And then as soon as I switched to the adult versions of them, I was like, I was trying to give it a chance because I knew who they had casted, and I was like, oh yeah, it's just not doing it
It's
for
just
me.
not for you.
I'm still watching it just out of principle for curiosity,
Mm-hmm.
but it just doesn't like it's just not what it was when Game of Thrones was out. It's just not.
gotcha.
I'm gonna wait for people to talk about it. Like, oh man,
So you
House of
decided to watch
Dragons
it?
season 2,
seen a
episode
couple
5 was
people.
absolutely amazing. The
Yeah.
greatest thing. It was better than anything Game of Thrones ever did. I said, all right, maybe I'll give this shit a chance. All right, next question. Jennifer Lopez or Shakira?
Shakira. No, I'm just saying Jennifer Lopez, but I just wanted to say Shakira.
Are you looking at me? I'm the only
J-Lo.
Latina here. It's
No,
like-
I'm gonna go with J Lo from In Living Color days when she was a dancer. But Shakira, she's
I mean, they both have like.
They're
I
both-
feel like they're not. I don't know. I don't want to say it in the same category, but I
Yeah.
feel like the only category they have together is music,
Right.
And so Shakira owns that because like that's like her full
Yeah.
life,
Yeah.
whereas J Lo is a beast in everything. You know what I mean? Like
Movies.
yeah, she does
Yeah,
everything.
for sure.
So I feel like it's hard to compare those two
Yeah.
because
yeah.
they both have their strengths.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree. And
yeah. And they're both phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, I feel like it's a hard one to compare.
I mean, as a Latina, I absolutely love them both. I grew up with Shakira and her Spanish music before she transitioned into the U.S. And J Lo was not there yet. I feel
Right.
like J Lo had the opportunity to become what she was because she was I don't want to say writing on the whole Selena,
Yeah,
Quintanilla who did, but she did a great job with the movie, and everybody. So from there, that's where she blew up. So I would have initially said J-Lo because, like you say, she's a beast and everything, and I loved her rom-com movies and everything. But I feel like you get to a point, in my little humble opinion, but you get to a point where you're like, okay, at some point you gotta know when to stop or when to just be like, let this be what it is. You know, you're good. Like, you're doing now too much that you like Madonna. Now you're undoing the
I do agree, because there's some things that J-Lo does now, and like I said, she's a phenomenal artist. Movies, dancing, she's a beast. But now I'm like, okay, J-Lo, relax. Just be Jenny from the Block.
It's okay
Jenny
to
from the
be
Block.
chill for a
Sit your ass down
moment.
for a little bit.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman, Denzel.
Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington. I know all his
Shawshank
movies by heart.
Redemption.
That's my movie.
I mean,
get your Bible and
but
powder. All right, get your Bible and powder. It's time to go.
I like Morgan Freeman, but for me, Denzel is still my
GOAT.
number one. Yeah. He's the only one I would ever get starstruck. I don't care about nobody
Me
else.
too.
If I could ever work with him, which would be an amazing dream come true. He's the only one that I actually feel that way about.
And you know what's crazy? Like, I'm such a fan of Denzel. My dad used to make me watch all his movies when I was a kid, And I'll be like, why am I watching Training Day? Why am I watching American Gangster? And now I know all his movies. I mean, all of them, word for word. And I can, you can imagine.
Damn, they're on repeat.
Yeah, because my
Pops
dad
has a DVD collection of
My
just
dad would
Denzel.
come in and be
He
like,
said, "This
King
is my
Kong ain't got
Denzel
nothing
collection."
on me. And I'd be like, King Kong's not even real, Like, but I
that
can
was actually an improvised
It
line
was.
too, by the way.
And I watch a lot of his interviews because I'm like, how did Denzel become Denzel? Like, his mannerism, the way that he walks, the way that he acts. Everybody that has worked with him says that this guy is just an upright guy. Like, he's just himself. I'm Denzel Washington. That's it. Like, I'm not, boisterous. I'm not, I'm Denzel. You need to respect me. He's a down-to-earth type of guy. He's always giving great advice to people.
That's what I love about him.
He
And
respects his wife.
Oh, amazing. Oh, I love all these interviews where
he loves his
shows
wife.
It's like, because there's a lot of, it's understandable. You're in the moment or you're getting interviewed and they want to hug or something. And he's been very clear with like the distance of being respectful. I absolutely love that. And I may be a little biased because I'm Christian. And obviously for me, I see how he's able to speak the truth of what he believes and how he feels about God and everything. And in an industry like Hollywood, that is not very easy to say that. Otherwise, you're classified as whatever.
Right.
So I find that super refreshing and like how he's able to still do what he does and still be respected and still be true to his beliefs. And I absolutely love that and respect that.
Absolutely.
So you didn't say that. What was yours?
I think Denzel has a wider range and wider catalog. Yeah. But I mean they're both phenomenal actors for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Yeah.
All right, last one. Where'd I have it? Oh, bigger action star. And I'm talking about international.
Oh.
Tom Cruise, Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan.
What she said.
All right, now think about it. Tom Cruise does all his own stunts too.
That doesn't mean he's internationally.
everything
like
that-
Jackie Chan
You
is.
said international.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Jackie Chan had cartoons. He came out when I was a kid.
His cartoon was so good too. The Jackie Chan Adventures.
That cartoon.
Hey, I feel like that gives him
Saturday.
the win right there. It's like just the fact that Tom Cruise doesn't have no Tom Cruise
None of
Adventures.
it. And you know what?
But Tom
will
Cruise
with
is
them
jumping out of airplanes.
And I
and-
also said action star. You didn't say like celebrity or things like that. Like you made it very. You said international
It's
action
what you
star.
specified.
Yeah, that's what you
Yeah.
specified. So,
So I
And Rush
agree.
Hour, you gotta think about it. Like,
So funny.
What about Mission Impossible? There's like 73
Mission
of them.
Impossible,
And they all make like
exactly.
$700
And
million
there's only
each.
three,
So.
but you know what I realized
Hour
with
or
Tom
something?
Cruise, not to cut you guys off, I do apologize, but like with Mission Impossible and his recent movies, they're all the same thing. Like, he's jumping out of a plane.
But he's still
action.
doing it.
Yeah,
Which is
Tom Cruise.
He jumped a
There's
dirt bike
no-
off the
how
side
many
of a
bones is he
cliff.
broken compared to Jackie Chan?
Oh, Jackie won that.
Jackie.
Jackie was doing
So-
backflips from train cast
Yes.
to train. You know what I'm
Exactly.
He's
saying?
up there with
Yeah.
Jet Li.
He was doing part. No, I heard that Jet Li doesn't do his stunts. That he has a stunt double.
Really?
I have to fact check
And
that.
Romeo
But
must die? Don't tell me that. I'm gonna cry.
he
Patty did Kung Fu and
throwing some
everything.
punches and shit and walked away.
Didn't he have a movie
Versus
with
Jackie Chan is
Jackie
jumping
Chan
off
did
of
everything,
buildings.
for sure.
So I agree that yes, nobody takes away the stuff that Tom Cruise does, especially
Right.
the MI2 bro. It's time to retire.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
definitely.
But at the end of the day, nobody takes away with how phenomenal of a stunt actor Tom Cruise is. But Jackie Chan is a whole different thing. You know, he was like doing. It's just
Yeah.
you just can't compare.
Yeah, for sure.
I just can't. I mean,
sure.
if you say Jet Li and Jackie Chan, I'll still say Jackie Chan. But
too.
Jet Li was still
Me too. Because
still
that
good.
cartoon just.
Jackie Chan is shitting on like most people. I think you would have to do like Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan.
Yeah, Bruce.
I mean,
Bruce
his
Lee's-
career was
Cut short.
yeah,
was cut short.
But
so-
the impact though.
of
Yes.
course. I mean,
Yeah.
he's still people still know about him.
Yeah, I mean,
People talking about Enter the Dragon. Enter the Dragon is still a good movie still to this day.
Last Dragon too.
Was he
Have
in
you
the
seen
Last
that?
Dragon?
No, he wasn't in the Last Dragon.
Well, yeah,
but I
Last
like
Dragon
to
was
think
good.
that Jet Li and the Last Dragon, they have some type of comparison because it's all like mathematical, you know, just the fighting.
I thought
and,
they
like,
did
kung fu.
do a movie together. Which one was it?
Which one?
Didn't they do a movie together? Jet Li and Jackie Chan?
Jet Li and Jackie Chan?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. It was, I don't remember the name, but one of them was like a drunken master, and then the other one had like a
Yes.
weird ass mustache
Yes,
or some
and,
shit.
and Jackie's the one that
Oh,
did
he
the
was
drip.
the monkey man.
yeah.
Jet Li was the monkey man.
Yeah.
I gotta go back and
Yeah.
watch that.
You're welcome.
They're a
I
little
was
bit.
like, I know. I seen because I was like excited when I was like, those two in the same. I was like,
Uh-huh.
you know how much I love martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
So
love
yeah,
martial
but
arts,
still
yeah.
for me, Jackie. Like
martial
honestly,
arts.
like I love his warm humor and like Rush Hour. Those are like my favorite movies. I know
words,
every word
just
of
come out.
those.
Even the third
I
one?
know all of them.
He's like, my
Even the
no,
third one?
the third one
She
not
don't
so
watch
much.
the third one.
The 1 and 2 was most. Third is, you know.
The second one is my shit.
Oh yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
I
For
love all
sure.
that. I can probably.
For
They
sure.
probably will be annoyed watching me with that movie because I will know
the Karate Kid too. What he did with Will Smith's son.
They're
Jaden
doing another
Smith.
one.
They are.
So Jackie Chan is gonna be the same guy that he was, and the cat from the original Karate Kid.
Yeah.
That's in this spin-off series, Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna make another
okay.
movie together.
Okay,
We'll
That's like
see.
a nice
Jackie
little,
Chan's
like-
like 85, so we're gonna see how he's
like
moving in
85.
this. I bet
They're
you he's
gonna
still
do
doing
Rush Hour
flips and shit.
You
too.
don't
That's
have
what
to
they
do all that.
said.
Hey, didn't you know Mr. Miyagi from the original? Look at him.
Yeah.
How
He
old
didn't
was
move much. He just waxed on and
Exactly.
waxed off. That was it.
And how amazing was he? Everybody respected him as like Mr. Miyagi. Like, you know, everybody know that Mr. Miyagi means like that must be a master, right?
Could
Jackie
he really
ain't gotta
fight?
do it.
Could
I don't
Mr.
know.
Miyagi really fight in real life, or was he just that
he
guy?
probably just learned like something for the film.
He
I
like-
don't know.
It's just
I don't
this
know
shit.
enough.
That's it. Paint a fucking
Hey, but he
fence.
was still. Everybody was like, "That's right, Mr. Miyagi." So
He's a
Jackie
legend.
could do the same because we know that Jackie could do all that stuff.
Or Mr.
You don't gotta-
Miyagi or Ip Man.
Aw, it man, come on.
I'm
It
not into
man.
that, so I can't even tell you.
Mr. Miyagi ain't waxing on, waxing off fast enough.
Nah, it man, you can't.
All
compare.
right, here we go, man. Let's get to the real meat and potatoes of this
Oh, Lord, we're
podcast.
just marinating, huh?
This relationship shit. You can help yourself. You want me to hook you up?
Well, let me finish this one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So we're about to get into relationships
Do
right
you
now.
want juice, or are you just drinking?
We're talking about relationships.
She said.
Stick to this.
I shall take another one, please, before you start on that
Okay,
question.
yeah.
Thank
Let
you.
me
Right.
hook you up.
It's like before, fill that up.
Okay, I'm gonna start with this. Do you think that the way society expects men and women to behave on Valentine's Day is outdated? You know, there's gender rules that are involved. You have the man that's expected to take the woman out, get her flowers, get her
Yeah.
chocolates, take her to
sure.
dinner. It's almost like an obligation for men to go out and be extra on this particular day. And I don't agree with that.
Yeah, it
I
sounds
don't,
like
I
it.
don't do
I
the
hear
whole
it.
Valentine's Day shit. Like, I'll cook you dinner, but it's like, I love you every day, right? If I'm in a relationship, I love you every day. I'm buying you flowers just because it's Tuesday. So just because February 14th comes up, that doesn't mean I have to go over and beyond. That's just another consumer holiday to me to make you go out and spend money.
Great. Yeah.
So how y'all feel about it?
I agree.
Well, I don't necessarily think I don't think outdated is the word. It is a Hallmark
Yeah, I agree.
holiday.
Yes.
And it is truly just to sell
Embrace
chocolates,
love.
double the friggin' price or dinners or whatever. So it's not outdated necessarily, but it is, what's the word I'm looking for?
Played out.
It's just like,
Lopsided.
Yeah.
if you play into that. So actually, I had a brief conversation today with a coworker exactly about this. That she absolutely hates Valentine's Day. Thank you. And I was like,
Shout out
"You
to
hate
her.
it?" I was like, I don't hate it. I'm not for it. Like, I don't think anything of it. I just don't hate it. Like, you know, but at the same time, I was like, maybe before I was like, ugh, Valentine's, whatever, because I was probably looking at it through like a, you know, single perspective. But at the same time, I was like, wait a minute, I can't hate on those people who do celebrate it, because maybe there are couples who, although it is correct, you should be loving your partner every single day of the year, not just one day. Maybe they are in a relationship that actually has fallen dull and whatnot, and they are only looking forward to one day a year to get pampered and whatever. And it's really sad, right? But maybe that's all those people have. I don't know. You know, so I was like,
pick better.
Yeah.
Be in a better relationship or vocalize yourself. Hey, you're not doing enough. I like to be loved this way.
But we can't judge if you don't
Being
agree.
vocal about it.
Yeah.
I think that, honestly, like, I'm a lover girl. I love Valentine's Day because it's like one of my favorite holidays. But I'm actually agreeing with you as well, Levi, because every day you should be able to show your partner that you love them. Every day you should, not every day, because there's going to be days where you're not going to be able to show up, and there's going to be days where you're going to be like, this shit is really fucking hard, but you still have to show up for your partner. And I don't feel like because it's a holiday that you have to go extra, because it puts pressure on you, just like Christmas. It puts pressure on you.
Unwanted
Like,
pressure.
dang, now I got to get presents, and I don't really have it like that, but I have to because it's Christmas. And it's like for Valentine's Day,
It's the same.
it's just the same, you know.
But
As long as
but people allowed themselves to make it that way, honestly,
Right.
because at the end of the day, if you're smart,
and social media
not
has a
just-
lot of things, has a big impact.
a lot of influence. That may be
Yeah.
true. I just think, like, listen, y'all can spend double the amount of money on that dinner.
Okay.
Or you can wait one day after Valentine's Day and go
And
get
get a
yourself a
discount.
trip, go to a cruise or something. I'm just
Exactly.
saying there's smart ways. I'm not saying that you don't it's wrong to participate in
Right.
it. It's just, if you do participate, just be mindful of, like, what it is.
Yeah.
And what are you really trying to do by participating in it? Is it just for the sake of, you know what, I love her every day, but I know that she will feel nice just because I do get her flowers on this day, even if that's it, or dinner. It's not out of force. It's just out of
Because you want to.
just because, and
You're
we're
allowed to
girls.
do
and
it. Yeah.
so it's not wrong to not participate in it, but also I don't find that hating on it is also, like, necessary, because I'm like, you know what? I'm like, if that's what makes y'all happy, great, Whenever I'm with my partner, I'll handle that part. However, if he says, I hate Valentine's Day, it's a Hummer, I'll be like, all right, cool, we don't got to celebrate it. But after Valentine's Day,
Let's go do some
let's
shit.
go do some stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can do, or before, or whenever, So
For sure.
And if you do like it and you feel like getting me flowers or whatever, I'm not gonna hate on that either. I'd be like, thank you, baby. I was like, I'll cook you dinner so you don't have to spend.
Oh, shit.
I have to spend money. I was like,
love
let me
cooking
cook
a
you.
good dinner.
I absolutely love that. Yeah, let me treat you. You treat me.
And
I
we don't
treat
have
you.
to go all out
Rub
like
mine's
we
back.
think we have to. Because I feel like with Valentine's Day, you go to the store, you see all this candy, you see balloons, you see cards, you see people like, oh, you gotta ask me to be a Valentine's. And it's like, we've been in a relationship for 3 years. Why gotta actually
too
be my
much.
Valentine's?
It's not
I mean, it's
sustainable.
cute, and I love that because I do love romance. Don't get it wrong. Like, I love romance.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't really necessarily have to pick one day out of the month to really broadcast that.
But over
out of the
and
year.
beyond.
There you go. A year, sorry.
Like, if you say,
go over
say in
beyond,
your
yeah.
first year Valentine's, I would love to hear your opinion too in a second. But say in your first year that you're together Valentine's Day, you set the standard. Man, I took her out. I got a hotel room. I had to hold flower petals to the bed and made the heart, and she has chocolates. We went out to a candlelit dinner on the Las Vegas Strip and all this shit. We got a bubble bath going. I paid the homies $50 to go into the room early to get the bath going for me so it could be hot when we got to the room.
But then the rest of you
How sustainable is that? Now her birthday comes around, you're like, fuck, what do I do now?
Money on that one day.
Or just all of my thought, But that's all I got. I emptied the bucket on that one.
She's gonna have to understand, baby. You want all this in one day, and the rest of it we be eating ramen,
Right.
Or do you want me to spend all this money and we can, like, spread it out? We do little things here and there. I mean, it just depends on the person you get.
Yeah, and I feel like, what works for you and your partner. Sometimes you don't have to celebrate traditional holidays. Sometimes you make your own holidays. I know couples who make their own holidays. Like, yeah, we're not celebrating that because it's too much pressure. We celebrate it this way. And it's like, you know what? Why not? Because whatever works for you to make you guys feel balanced in your relationship, like, oh my gosh, this feels a lot of pressure and this expectation of this person to do this for me. And it's like, it's just one day.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
get it.
one day out of the
Listen, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. I walk sometimes to the store,
But I do
and
like
I see the
flowers.
little heart chocolates, and I buy myself my own little chocolates.
For
I was
sure.
like, I'm not expecting nobody to give me little heart chocolates, but I was like, I
Yeah.
really want that chocolate, so I'll buy myself my own little heart chocolate. I got, You know what?
The little
There's
one from
no
like
shade.
Albertsons.
Yeah.
Whatever. It was like
I love
CVS,
you.
but whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
no matter. I just like the fact, and I go home like happy with my love.
Like the
I love
variety.
this. Yeah, I was like, I
Yeah.
love, like anything that has to do with like love, even if it's for yourself, from a friend, you buy it.
That's
for,
where it starts.
Yeah, or saying it for your friends, your family. Like it's a nice little reminder of like, hey, don't forget to love your loved ones. It doesn't have to be romantic. It could be your friends. It could be your family.
It's the
your
thought that
coworker.
counts. Yeah, for sure.
I have a statement about that, but we won't even get into that rant. But yeah, I think it's kind of nice sometimes to kind of have a little, even if it's a silly Hallmark excuse, but to celebrate love. Like it's still a nice reminder. Expensive, but it's a nice reminder.
Yeah.
The thought of love gets lost sometimes.
That's what I'm saying. It's sad when couples don't only look forward to that one day because that's all they got.
Like you forgot all the other days I showed you love and this one particular day because I didn't go over and beyond.
Is it overlooked?
What is?
Because it's
Showing your love. Because now if you're with somebody and you've been with each other for a while, you build expectations, whether it's purposely or not purposely. I wake up in the morning. Every morning, my woman starts the coffee pot for me. I'm not saying that's what happens. I'm saying that's an example. That's an example, right? Say every morning my woman. Man, start my coffee, baby. Shit, I'm going down there like.
I'm such a sucker for love. Like really.
The temperature is too high. It needs to be a little bit lower.
You make
But
your
no,
own damn coffee.
say your spouse or your significant other, starts your coffee. So every time you walk downstairs, you're not a morning person and you need that little coffee to get you going. And that's their little way of saying I love you. But now you're expecting that. So are you forgetting the love that goes into those little things that they do?
It could happen. I mean, like it's human nature sometimes to just take things for granted. It's not uncommon, but it's the expectations. So when you're dating, say you get married, but when you're dating, you cannot build certain expectations of being like, I'm always getting you flowers every Sunday, whatever. We get married and never get you flowers no more. It's like you're building expectations as what kind of treatment I'm going to get when I'm with you, right? Obviously, if you know each other, it's not sustainable financially maybe to get flowers every weekend. But once in a while, it's nice. It's just what are you building trying to get this girl right now in your dating phase? And then how are you treating her after? Because a lot of people that get married and then they stop dating each other. They stop because I got him. I'm married. I don't need to do all this.
We're so lazy.
And then we get like, oh, you don't love me no more. Oh, you don't get this. Or the coffee thing. It's like, so it could be like we expect that now, like the coffee thing, because we know that's just what our partner does out of love. And it's on us to remind ourselves every day, like, they don't have to do all this. They do it because we love them, so we have to show them back. If you kind of fall off the real a little bit and do it, and it's okay.
You're your own
You gotta catch
individual.
yourself.
Yeah,
So you have your own stuff that you go through in your own mind.
You have to be accountable for
you do.
yourself,
You do.
So
You do.
I feel like it's what you're building, and both of how are you expecting that? What are you setting them up to treat you as, and vice versa?
standard.
And then what are you changing up because later on you change, and then she's feeling, or he's like, oh, he doesn't love me anymore. He doesn't think I'm as pretty. He doesn't tell me I'm pretty. Whatever it is. So you have to be realistic of showing what you're putting there.
Even if you can't show up 100%, because there's going to be times where you're not going to show up.
What is 100%? When are we 100%? I feel like
I
most
hear
days
that
we're
a
less
lot.
than.
Like, I hear that a lot. Like, my man shows up for me 100%. I'm like, well, how do you know that's 100%? In his, like, in your eye, like, how do you know that's 100%? How do you know he's not giving you an 80% and he's just giving,
maybe
like,
she's 100% satisfied.
and that's okay.
Yeah,
and
maybe that's how she feels.
And and I'm happy with that because
I'm
as long
that. I'm like, man, I just got to give about 80 and
a
she's
little
going to be
goes
straight.
for me, a little goes a long way.
I'm going to give her 85 every now and again and see what happens. Shit.
Oh, come on now.
Now you're doing too much.
Boy, come on.
Yeah. A little goes a long way, but don't get in the habit of just giving me
Maybe
just a little
once in
bit.
a blue moon it's
Every little bit.
acceptable. Be like, it's okay, baby, it happens to everybody. But then,
But don't get it twisted.
we're not doing that every night. No.
Yeah. But I think here's the thing. So let's circle back to your actual question, right? So you're talking about the expectations of Valentine's Day. And so with everything that's been said, ultimately what we're talking about is how are you showing up that first year and then what happens afterwards, right? So doing all of that, this is your first Valentine's Day. Whenever you guys started, got together, and you do all of this, you set yourself up for failure with that, right? Like, I mean, honestly, you and I'm saying that for anybody, male, female, whatever. If you go all out, that's your 110%, right? And so you can't keep up 110%. So you set yourself up for that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely right.
So that's absolutely fucking crazy
You're
to me, to
absolutely
be
right.
honest.
Building the
No, hell
expectations.
no.
She's absolutely.
It's okay
Hell
to
no.
it's okay to want to put your
So,
best foot forward to get her. At the same time, you
Not
cannot.
just to get her, this is how I'm feeling at the moment. Now, I'm not saying you're saying this is pretty much the standard that you have set. These are the expectations that you have set. But I feel like if a communication goes in after that, hey, I just want to let you know, it ain't always gonna be like that. I'm always gonna give you my love. I'll cook you dinner. I'll rub your feet. I'll take you out on dates and shit like that. But it's just not sustainable to be over the top the way I did it that first time, or the next time. If the means are there, then I'll do it again. I feel like you shouldn't be limited, either too low or too high, based on expectations.
I don't know if expectations is so right.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't feel like that's like. I feel like it almost feels because it feels like a lie, right? So you're starting the relationship on a lie because you're like, oh, I want to do all this for you, whatever. Oh, now I can't do it for you. Well, can you not?
I'm gonna do it when I can.
But again, that's saying that that's who you are. You're going to do it when you can. So you're not going to do it, you might do it for the birthday, you might do it for Christmas, you might do it for just a random day, right? So then yes, you're still owning up to that expectation. But the way that it was worded and the way that the way that's kind of been going around was that it was like, well, that can't happen all the time, like that's probably never going to happen again, kind of a thing. And so that's
not ever happen again. But say if the next Valentine's Day is not like that. Maybe the next Valentine's Day, shit, I get you flowers and candy and we go for a walk.
But again, it really just depends on your partner and your relationship. So I think it's really hard to kind of put a generalization on all of this because it really depends on your partner and how your relationship is going. Making the coffee every single day, 9 times out of 10, that's going to get overlooked.
Yeah.
Right? Like, down the line, it's going to get overlooked, and someone's going to get irritated, and then it's not going to happen and be like, what happened to my coffee? Well, I'm mad at you. I don't want to do your coffee today. Or it happens like, there's a whole week of like no coffee, and finally it's like, wait.
Well, my damn coffee.
Damn coffee.
I'm not mad at you no more.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
But again, I mean, it's human beings and the lack of communication, which is like a huge thing that we're talking about.
Yes.
So again, you're getting all these expectations, you're getting all these feelings from social media, which is banned in certain countries because of how of how it makes people feel overall.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're getting these glimpses of the best part of life.
Yeah.
Just fake
And
shit.
you're not
Right?
Yeah.
Of the reality of the relationship. I mean, look at how many people have
These relationship goals.
and this is so off topic in a sense, but like look at that mom who did all these YouTube videos and all these. I mean, like she was doing it for years about this perfect family, and her kids were malnourished and had to go to the neighbor and got taken away from her. But on social media, she was picture perfect.
Yep.
I mean, literally, her kids had like were malnourished and CPS had to take them away.
Oh my
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So what you're saying is you're essentially doing the social media equivalent in real life when you go all out at the very beginning and then you just can't.
It feels like a love bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
In a
And
way.
I've experienced enough love bombing in my
Can
life
we talk about?
to where
Can we talk about?
I
I'm trying to get love
recognize
bomb.
it, and
No,
I'm
you
like,
don't. No, you don't.
Just a
No,
little.
you don't. No, you
Just
don't.
keep it.
No,
I don't want
for
no
Put
real.
them rose petals on the floor for
That's
me,
no.
baby.
I don't think you understand what love bombing is.
Yeah, I know.
It gets so overwhelming, and these people are like scientists. Like they study you. Like from my experience, they study you. They get you whatever you want.
So are we gonna talk about it?
We're gonna talk about it.
Are we talking about narcissists?
Yes, we can talk about it.
Let's talk about
Ooh, we gotta
narcissists
do
because they
narcissist
flock
conversation.
here.
I think we've all had our experience with narcissists.
Jesus.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
in this town, I have not met one person that does not have a story about narcissists.
Oh my gosh, what?
It's crazy.
It's
everywhere.
so crazy.
crazy.
It's like it's a normal thing in relationships, and it's like I don't remember it being like a normal thing that we have to go through in relationships.
Because
narcissistic,
I feel
lying,
like it's
I just
here.
don't understand it. I don't.
I feel like they flock here.
Yeah.
I really do. And maybe that's just me.
Go back.
No, I'm not
No,
joking. They
it's
flock.
Vegas.
Just go back. Go back to California. Go back where you guys came from.
They
Chicago,
come down
all
here,
over.
they gamble, they make hella bread, and then they're like, man, I'm about to splurge on somebody real quick.
then they get mad.
Run out of
But do
money.
you
and then
understand
they're
what
like,
love bombing is, though? Like, do you honestly understand what love bombing is?
No, I think that's more of a woman thing.
No.
No, love bombing is a narcissist thing.
Whoa,
So
yeah.
what love bombing is getting someone so attached in the beginning of the relationship that they think that this is what they think this is what this really is.
Yeah.
Right? So you do everything that just makes them happy and just makes them feel important and special, and you found your soulmate and just all those things that you could possibly imagine. It could be anything. It's
like a fairy tale.
It's a fairy tale. It does not have to do with rose petals or flowers. It's different for every single person. But
Get 'em
it's
to
it's
fall for you.
Yeah, that's why you're saying it's like a
100%.
scientist, yeah.
But it's 100% understanding how to manipulate this person into falling in love with
Yes.
you, and then you slowly start taking away.
Yeah.
And then you slowly start taking off your mask and start showing who you really are. And the person that's been love bombed is so confused because they're like, oh, that's not real. The person I fell in love with is real.
Yeah.
Like, this is just
And the
like,
whole time
no,
it was
no.
fake.
Yeah. Like this is not real. Like, this is not thing.
Yeah.
And your friends, their friends, whoever it is like,
No.
girl, for real?
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
like, for real? Because again, this happens for both men and women.
Yeah.
Dude, for real? Like, you're putting up with this? Like, you don't see this?
Yeah.
No. Like, that's not
But you're so in
real.
love, you already start
But
making
you have
excuses
already
or
been
whatever.
You're
so
stuck in this facade that they put you in.
Yep.
And it's like, but no, when we dated, like we're this, he gave me this and he did this for me. And slowly but surely it's like the real them start to come out. And it's like, who are you? Like, what? You start to think they have
multiple personalities.
multiple personalities. They're bipolar.
What did I do wrong? Why did they change
Exactly.
me?
And you know what?
They start
They are
comparing.
bipolar.
They start comparing you to other people.
They start to bring you down.
devaluing
Yes.
you. It's this
And
whole
they make
mind
you
game thing.
feel like you
Whole
are.
game of manipulation.
Yes,
It's a whole manipulation game, which is why they're called
manipulation.
narcissists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do feel like to some extent, I'm doing soul search. Like I'm very self-aware. I try to do like, what can I improve? If I was in a situation that didn't go well,
Right,
what was
right.
my part?
The
in it?
accountability.
What did I do? Exactly, the accountability. I try to do that, and I feel to some small extent, every single one of us has a small amount of narcissism in
Absolutely.
us. And is
Absolutely.
but as long as it's a healthy narcissism, like it's more like self-preservation type of deal. More like we're all wanting to do that, and then but if you catch yourself doing something to somebody else's detriment, that's when you have to check yourself.
You gotta
You're like,
reel
all right, I was
yourself
like,
in.
oh, so
And
I'm
that's
leading
what
him
I've
on,
learned.
or something that you're
That's
like,
what
okay.
I've learned. Because I'm like, you know
Yeah.
what? I have a thing of blaming my last relationships on them, in which they are crazy, right? But like we
What
point
did
our
I
fingers,
do
we
to-
point our fingers to everyone, but we're not realizing 3 fingers are pointing back to us. So how can I be better in recognizing these traits that I've seen previous in relationships and now this new relationship that I want to get into, or if I'm dating or whatever season I'm in, right? I have to be aware of, you know what, Felecia, what have you done to allow these things? So, because you've seen it, it's not like you weren't aware. It wasn't like you didn't know, but we like to. It's okay. Give grace. And I'm one of those people that give more grace than what I should. And it's like, girl, no. The reality is this. And the reality is you suck at believing, believing Maya Angelou said when they show you who you really are the first time, you
Believe
believe
them.
them. And we be like,
You're looking at the potential, girl.
Nah,
You
they
dating
just
their
had a bad
potential,
day.
not
And
their
it's like,
reality.
no.
Let's talk about
Let's talk about
potential.
potential. That's what we all do. We all want to be like,
They don't
oh,
have
look
no-
at
they
the
don't-
guy.
yeah.
I see him, and I listen.
I pray
They
for
really
him.
are
If you just
And
stop
I
doing
know,
this.
no.
Oh, I'm the
No.
exception. I can help him. I can.
Yeah,
help him.
I
Oh,
can
girl, stop
definitely
it.
like
Stop
heal
it.
him.
Stop
I'm gonna
yourself.
wait till the full moon, and we're gonna do. Girl, no, he's still gonna be a
Yeah.
narcissist. With these,
Yeah, I think we've all done that at some point.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's how we learn.
I'm just speaking
right?
of my experiences. I'm just speaking of mine because
But we
I'm
all
just,
have a narcissistic.
yeah.
We all have a
are.
narcissistic.
Yeah, it's
we
like
are
we've all,
good.
like, yeah,
Except
like-
for this one over here. He's
Yeah.
over here like, oh, and I'm like, no.
Like, what? What's up, I mean?
What
It's
are you
like,
talking
well, at
about?
least we know. We're happy that you don't know what it is. Hopefully, because you've never
Exactly.
done it or you're just
Yeah.
unaware.
Oh, now that y'all
But-
explain it, is what I assumed it was, but
Yeah.
I still feel like it's a trap thing for women.
It's not just for women.
It's not
I know,
just for men.
I know for
I
sure
know
it
men.
happens on the other end.
yeah.
But I just feel like for me personally, I just my own fucking business and have like too many things that I want to do with my life and too much shit to do
So
to
you
like.
think that like you as a man, you don't have the time to be a nurse, like to like manipulate women, or you're just who you are? Because
No.
What do you
I'm
mean?
saying for that to
Elaborate.
happen to me.
okay.
I'm gonna handle all of my shit that I have to handle.
So you're saying you're mute. You can never be.
I'm
the
not saying
narcissist.
that at all.
I'm like, wait. What are you saying? What are you saying?
I'm saying at this specific time, I have so many goals and things that I want to do, and I'm self-sufficient. Like I've been living in this house by myself for 5 years, so it's like I'm almost like a well-oiled machine that I'm not
It's harder for
opening
somebody
myself
to
up
come
for
and, like,
somebody
treat
to
you, yeah.
love bomb
Manipulate
me.
you into you. Okay.
Now,
But the
if
love
I
bombing
ever,
for you
if-
was so different than for us women.
Yeah.
Because they may
I still
see
think you're
you-
not understanding.
Yeah.
I
because
still
they
think
may
you're not
see you have
understanding.
all of this, and this is great. Like, that's awesome. But there may be like that person that's like, okay, well, I know how to get to him in a different way.
Oh, you're right. I
You know
forgot
what I
about
mean?
the scientist
It's a different
portion
way.
of it.
Yeah.
Okay,
like
so
this-
you're
like,
looking
second.
for the weaknesses of whatever that person may be.
100%.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm talking about. I mean, even here in this conversation, right? So there are three of us women, and we're all kind of like, yep. And you're just like, nah, I can't.
It can happen to anybody.
No,
You know what I
I'm
mean?
not saying that though. I feel like if I open myself up 100% fully, yes, 100% it can
But
happen.
again,
You don't even
you're
have to
it's
open
like
yourself
again,
up
you're
100%
still
up.
putting all these things on it of like no, like I'm self-sufficient, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this.
It doesn't
Trust
matter.
me, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It has. I
Look
mean,
at Will Smith and Jada Pinkett.
That's a good ass point.
I'm sorry.
That is a good ass point. I'm gonna sip to that
Don't
one.
sue me, please. Don't sue me. But I'm just saying, like, it literally can just happen to anybody. It doesn't matter the
It
status.
creeps up on you.
It doesn't
like
matter.
you said, you
if-
start pulling
Yeah.
away very
So
slowly.
everybody-
start pulling away.
So everybody's at risk. People who have gone through it is a little bit more aware, and we're more of the red flags, and we try to be more mindful of it. If it hasn't happened to you, great.
This has
honestly.
happened to me in my
That's-
past for sure.
Oh, well, then there you go. So you understand. It doesn't mean that you're not susceptible to it. You can be. I think all of us can be again. It's good that you feel that you're at a place in your life where you don't feel like it's as easy for some people to try and do that
that's-
to you.
that's
I think
a
that's what you were
better
trying to
word.
get
Yes.
at.
So, like,
and
it's
that's,
not
and
as
that's-
easy. Yeah.
and that's totally true too. I think all of us who kind of know a little bit about it and like,
Because once you
okay,
get experiences
so-
of it, you're like, oh, no, thank you. No, I don't want to go through this again.
Yeah, and,
like
and
your
little
wall
things,
goes.
like little things, like
Yeah.
like I saw, like I was at a
yes, let us
premiere.
know.
What is it?
Let us know. I'm listening. I'm
Yeah,
taking notes. Shit.
I was at a premiere.
How she get got?
and this guy comes up to me and he was like, and started devaluing me over like the movie that I was just in, and was doing it in a way to try to
Sassy?
like. I
That's
think he
not
like
cool.
I
That's
think,
a
but
punk ass
again,
motherfucker.
in his mind, he did not put two and two together. Right, like he did not realize that like
Tell me who it is, 'cause
we
I'm
are
about to who.
no. Like, but he didn't put two and two together that like what he was doing was very unattractive, and it was because of my narcissistic experience that I was just like, nope.
And they don't
wouldn't
realize
even
it.
give you a chance
Wouldn't even
because
give you a
that
chance.
was your first response to me, not being like congratulations, like
Right.
like
Yeah,
like
what an
wow.
asshole.
Yeah.
Something
But again,
normal.
he didn't. It might have been insecurity. It might have been whatever.
Ego, whatever.
Whatever it was.
But
Again,
he showed himself at the very
but
beginning.
he showed himself.
Showed his
and
ass.
as you said, when they show you who they are, believe them. And I was
First.
like, done. Like,
And a lot of these guys now, like, no offense to
Here we
them.
go. Here we go.
No
This that
offense.
shit I've been waiting on. This shit I be seeing on social media. These
This that I
guys now,
don't like.
comma. Let me hear it. These guys now what?
They just, too sassy. You know what I mean? Because they
Oh,
feel
I'm
like
agree
they're
with that.
first. No, I'm just saying because
I agree.
prize.
These
They're
bitches
the
they
prize.
just sassy as fuck.
They would
They're the
rather
prize.
they would rather degrade a strong woman who knows who she is and the boundaries that she put for herself because she's been through enough in her life to know, you know what, I'm not accepting this. And I know who you are as a person, and you can be that, but just not for me. And they'd be like, oh, well, you're a bitch and you're this and that and the
No,
third.
that's just a gaslighter.
And
but
it's
not
just a
Raz,
gaslight,
that's-
but
that's
that goes
insecurity.
into the
Yeah, it
umbrella
is.
Yeah.
of our narcissists. Like that is a whole umbrella of
Anybody that
You're
doesn't
showing me-
understand that, look, I get that's who you are, but I'm
Yeah.
not for you, and they want to make you feel bad because you didn't give him a chance. It's somebody who's just he's used to getting hurt and is not
Insecure,
getting used to
for sure.
not being. It's like, listen, if you. I think we've all experienced rejection at some point.
Yeah.
So it's like if you cannot understand rejection, then you're delusional and you're gonna get hurt
Yeah.
a lot more in your life.
For sure.
But go take that somewhere else because
somewhere else. And it's not over here. And men, they're like, whoa, you have a mouth on you. And it's like, no, don't pinpoint me as
Such
this.
a gaslighter thing
Like,
to
don't do
say.
that, because I'm one of those women that will nitbutt it I would nitpick in the bud, and I would say what I have to say,
You're doing
very
them a
classy.
favor. You're not even
and I'm
leading them
leaving it.
on.
Yeah, because it's like, why would I continue this? You know what I mean? Like, thank you, but no thank you.
Well, as you said, it's insecurity and it's ego. And
Yeah.
ultimately, I saw this one thing, which I thought was really, really powerful, talking about how we are living in a society where the man does not feel valued.
Oh, wow.
Right? And so ultimately, and again, this is not my words, this is something that I saw on a video on social media.
Why you look at me like that?
Because you like social media. But I mean, I get it. I mean, it has its pros and cons. But the bottom line was saying that, if you look at the caveman days, the man's responsibility was to, hunt and provide. And women have gotten so strong that we don't need them to do that anymore. We have our own money. We have our own things. And something that you were kind of trying to, I don't know if you want to talk about this now, but it's like, where does the man come in when a woman is strong and is able to take care of themselves? But then on the flip side, they also want to not have to pay for anything. Go out to dinner.
Oh my gosh,
and not
So it's like, which one is it?
But again,
You feel
Exactly.
emasculated, but you don't
What
want
is
to
it?
do your masculine role. So pick a.
But again,
struggle.
so I mean, so there's a lot of things that have been, the lines have been really blurred, and so again, I think it all comes down to communication, 110%.
And a lot of men don't know how to. I'm not gonna say men, because men know how to communicate. I'm gonna say guys. There's a lot of guys out here that do not know how to communicate.
That's the issue. A lot of the
There's
things
men
that,
out there that know how to communicate very well, and I'm like, okay, I love it. And then there's some guys that's like, yeah, and it's just like, whoa.
I mean, you can say that for both men and
whoa.
women.
This is true, but
let's unpack
specifically
here.
for men, and this, men, this is all for you guys. The fact that you don't know how to communicate, I'm not saying it's blanket, right? But
Right.
the men that do not know how to communicate for whatever reason, they were hurt in the past, or
Mommy
they got
issues,
child
whatever.
issues, whatever reason,
Therapy.
they got issues, and they're not really good at communicating. What you do is you allow space for assumptions, and that when
And
you
that's
create,
never good.
and that's never good because you could be growing in two different directions, two different pages.
Definitely.
She's thinking we're in the same we're good, and he's over here
Yes.
like nah. And then when something actually is said, and you're like, oh no, that's not it. I was like, what? Then issues happen, and you're growing in different directions you don't even know because you're not allowing yourself, because you're allowing the space for assumptions. And when you are always clear on your intentions and what you mean, we know that what comes out of your mouth I can believe. I will know because I know a guy that I've only known one guy in my life who I have ever left any room for assumptions. And I know that whatever came about that I would have normally in a different circumstance, like,
It's that reassurance.
let me doubt. Absolutely not. There's no doubt in my mind because he gave me that assurance, that type of
love
communication
that.
from the beginning. And I was like,
love
yeah.
that.
And then there's guys who are hot and cold. Sometimes they tell you what they
And
mean,
that's
but then they pull
what-
back and you're like, what are we talking about here? Can I
Yeah.
be real and tell you
Yeah.
this is how I'm feeling
Without
without you
shutting
thinking?
down.
Yeah, without you think I'm trying to wife you up or whatever. It's like, so
Yes.
where you need to just,
balance.
communication is everything.
Yeah, for sure.
So let me ask you, there's times when men express their feelings to a woman, whether that's the person they're with, their spouse, or just a friend. And then later on, the women turn around and use those feelings that were expressed to them and take advantage of the man.
Wait, I think that's true for everybody. So let's not.
That happens to everyone.
So,
I mean, go ahead.
I think we should definitely take the man and women part out of that and just talk about people that choose to, in some ways, it sounds like you're manipulating, right? Or to. But again, I feel like that's.
Pick a better partner.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
Shouldn't be with that person.
Yeah,
Take
I feel like
advantage.
I feel like what you just said is very specific.
That happens a lot.
It does.
Happens to a lot of people.
What I mean by that is that it's something that happens in relationships regardless, right? I mean, let's talk about basic things about not doing the laundry or leaving the clothes on top of the washing machine or things like that, right? And so now we start doing that to piss off the other person because
petty.
because you're not doing this. You're
Right.
you're always leaving the toilet seat up.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna and I know that you hate this. So it's so I
That's
mean
too
I guess.
much.
But again,
That's too much.
So yeah.
I went through that with my last relationship, and I promise you, at 29 years old, I am declaring, decreeing, I'm not doing that no more. 2025, like that back and forth pettiness. Like if you're gonna shut down, if we can't have conversations, if we can't say, you know what, I'm upset with you, but let's talk about this tomorrow. You know what I mean? I still love you, but I just want to talk about this. Like the pettiness and going back and forth, we have to leave that in the past because it's ruining relationships. Yeah. And it's not even just about relationship. It's more solely like you're ruining just a bond, you know, with someone that whether it's platonic, whether it's romantic, whether whatever, because now you're just self-destructing yourself because you're not able to communicate and you're not able to say, you know what, instead of being petty, let me really reflect on what I'm feeling and how I can express this in a healthy manner to my partner or to somebody else without the tit for tat. You know, like if you're not gonna say this to me, if you're not gonna say I love you to me, I'm not gonna say I love you to you. If you're not gonna put the coffee out, you know, it's a game. Can play the game better, bro?
And
it's like seriously, all these games.
Leave that for the young people. I don't know any better.
We already dealing with a lot outside in the world, and then now we gotta come home and be playing games with each other. And then it's like when you're not mad anymore because you pissed me off to the extent to where I'm mad, and now you feel better, and now everything is normal. You want to go about your day. That's not healthy. So I feel like we need to find some type of communication like barrier, whether going to therapy like you mentioned, or just really like sitting time with yourself and just deciding like how can I be better with communication.
Why is communication hard?
Because sometimes you don't want to hurt the other people's feelings,
and
or
with their guard up.
With the truth. And then some people don't even know how to communicate without coming off like offensive. But you can only take offense. So if you say, I don't mean no harm and I really don't want to hurt your feelings, but from your, like, this is how I talk, like from what has been displayed and what has happened, this is how I feel. And if you take offense because I'm telling you what you've done to me affects me and you can't figure out a way to.
That person's not just mature enough to
you gotta go.
On the flip side, I will say this. I saw this little clip podcast because I do feel, like Adrian said, that the men nowadays are not, what was the word you said? Was it valued enough? Where they feel valued enough? Yeah. And I highly 100% agree with that.
Yeah,
and now let's talk about that. So
yeah, they do.
Men and nowadays, right? Women have gotten so much to the extent of being independent, self-sufficient, and we say, I don't need a man. And maybe that was me at some point a long time ago, but it's like this was because I was what people call living in their masculine because I'm so hyper-independent. Hyper-independency, that's all traumas from back in the day. If you really unpack it, a lot hyper-independency is from, traumas and stuff like that. But it's like the more you get older, the more I realize it's like, no, I don't need you to survive. I can pay my own bills. I don't need to survive, sure. But I want one. Yes. And I do need one. I'm not going to make you feel like I don't need it. Yeah. So it's like men nowadays are feeling like they're not needed and they're not going to, like, what are they going to offer? If I'm this independent, you're just there to.
What am I here for?
Like, it's like, but it's like, I feel like she said, the lines are blurred a lot. The roles are blurred a lot. Some people say, oh, I'm 50-50 in a relationship. It's like, no, you should be 100-100. Yeah. Like, I take care of you, you take care of me. Like, I'm okay with, I can certainly do this. I know I can do it, but I don't want to do it. And I can leave you to do that job as a man. Like, I'm okay with that. I know I can.
Right.
I don't want to. If that's what makes you feel good. And vice versa. Right. Just, I think a lot of the issue is that I feel like men and women feel they're taken advantage of. Like, women, if we submit to our man, the women will feel like we're being taken advantage of us, like oh well, you need to be in the kitchen cooking, cleaning. It was like stuff like that.
Absurd.
It's like a lot of women feel that way. That's just why they don't submit.
Succumb to you, right? It is up to you as a man to make them feel secure and loved.
And that's the key word.
Keeps going.
It's like, are you the man that
reassurance
makes it?
But that's
needed.
We are emotional. We are emotional creatures.
Girl,
I know I am.
Shit.
I'm masculine.
Very much so.
But I need that reassurance.
It's like,
I feel like it's not even masked. I feel like as men, we could just look at y'all and just be like, fuck, I know she has so much shit just going on inside. And she just wants it to come out. She's just controlling herself to make it not seem like that.
So the clip I was mentioning that I saw was of this man saying to the two guys talking, and one of them said, if she caresses your hair, puts your hand on her lap, caresses her, she's the one to let her go or something like that. And the guy,
I've seen that.
And then the guy was like, oh man, I lost her. And it's like, why? He's like, well, I was in this place at that time, and I let my guard down for a moment. I was vulnerable, and she, caressed my head, and he jumped out of this like such a quick thing of like not being used to being vulnerable. So his self-preservation, fight or flight, whatever took place, obviously no longer with this woman. It's like she was just showing him affection, and he is like, oh no, I can't be vulnerable. So that's when it comes to like when you're not able to communicate or be vulnerable, comes from traumas of whatever it is you experienced in the past,
100%.
mommy, daddy,
and
past
I've heard the
relationships,
excuses like
whatever.
I can't be emotional because I was raised this way. And it's like, well, I'm not asking you for anything. I'm asking you to communicate so that we can be better in our relationship.
But not a lot of people are ready in that
and they're
phase
not
that
ready.
you are.
So we cannot force people to be ready for something that they're not prepared for to do, or yet not ready to do. But that's the same thing. But like, you know what I mean? So it's like,
But there's times
it's just not gonna work.
There's times when, okay, say for instance, hypothetically speaking, I'm a person, I don't like to be loved like you're saying that how that person was because of past traumas, right? And you express that, hey, this and this happened to me when I was younger, so I feel uncomfortable in these times, I'm working on it. But then it's like, okay, on the flip side, how long are you going to use your past as a crutch and yada, yada, yada?
But I feel
That's
like
on
those
you
are-
to
So
correct
now
yourself.
you're circling back to what you were saying about the whole feelings thing. So obviously, like there's something there for you. So, but ultimately, that like what she was saying, that might not be the partner for you, because ultimately, what we're talking about is love languages,
Yes,
right?
they do.
And so when you talk about love languages, you have to know what your love language is and what your partner's love language is, and so you can be able to communicate like that. So if someone's like, well, how long is it going to take? They're not the partner for you.
And I highly recommend they read the book, The 5 Love Languages, because obviously they need to know
I feel like we all have our love language. We just have
Yes.
a preferred 3 or 2. Or
Yeah.
It's like, this is my top 2. And then the other one's
I
like,
mean, too. I mean,
Yes,
if you take a
for
quiz,
sure.
if you take a quiz, you definitely know like which ones you lean more towards. But then to circle back to what you were saying, ultimately you're looking for a partner. Right? You're looking for a partner, and that's something that I feel like a lot of people don't understand what that is. Right?
Difference between a partner and a companion. A companion is just riding in the car with you, experiencing the experiences.
The ride.
But a partner wants to sit there and they care about how you
Exactly.
feel.
Development.
Hey, we had an argument and you're crying. I apologize for how I made you feel. I never want you to feel like that. I'm
Exactly.
sorry.
Accountability.
And that's the partner.
And a companion will say, get over it. Shit.
we just here to
You
ride.
made me
they'll
feel
say,
like
this is just
this.
how I
Exactly,
am.
right?
Yeah.
That's exactly how it goes. Well, you did this, and that's why that
And this
happened.
is just how I am. And it's just like, well, you know what? Now that you showed me who you really are, you can leave. You can go.
Yeah,
gaslight
because
them a little bit.
so that's what it comes down to, right? You're looking for a partner.
Yeah.
And so I think that we are living in a society where people need to understand you need to show up as a partner.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. They're so focused on who's going to be right for them. It's like, no, girl, worry about being the right one.
Do you guys-
So you know when your husband comes around, or vice versa, your wife comes around, you have everything that you can offer, and you are
already doing that with
able to
yourself.
receive what they have to offer, and you're able to give yourself. If you're not, that's when it comes down to when you were like, well, what if my past traumas don't let me do this? It's like, it's on you to
Yeah.
do the work on
The working
yourself
blocks. Yep. Yeah.
to be able to heal that and recognize. It's like, okay,
Recognition is important
recognize this.
first,
It's like,
yeah.
okay, I got this going on. So let me try to fix that so it doesn't affect my new relationship.
Yes.
I think it comes down to as men and women both need to make each other feel safe. A woman safe enough to submit and be herself
intelligent.
completely. Yeah, and for the man, make him feel safe enough to you say you can be the man outside the house, and here you're my baby. Melt with me, I got you, and vice versa. I'm a boss lady outside the house, but when I come here, I want to take the head off, and I just want to be a little girl in your arms, So it's like you both have the accountability as individuals to work on yourself, be able to make your partner feel safe, so that they know that they can be whatever with you, and you'll work on it. And if that
Yeah,
person makes you
the
feel like
learning.
shit, it's like,
The learning process,
Yeah.
I
You
feel
know-
like it never stops.
It doesn't. It never
'Cause
stops.
you have to think about it like, every day, every month, every year, you may think something like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. Or I thought I was this, but I changed my mind. And now your partner has to relearn you. So you have to have patience. You have to be like,
gotta
okay,
communicate
this is
the
your new
changes,
version.
too,
And hey,
and the evolution.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to say, you know what, I thought this was working for me, but I think right now at this time in my life, I prefer this. And how do you think about this? Like, do you think you'll be able to provide the love language that I would want in this new version of what I am experiencing in my own life, you know? Because
see, then a lot of people, I've had situations where marriages have been for like 30 years or whatever, you know, and then they're like, they're just not happy anymore. It's like, well, one person is growing and is okay with like who they are now and all these new things. And the other person's like, no, that's not who I married. I married this person. It's like, you married this teenager 30 years ago.
Right.
So it's like, what people
We're
don't
growing
understand is in a marriage, as time passes by, you're constantly learning each other. Every so often, we're growing.
Yes.
Whether it's in different people or whatever. So you got to learn that partner again. Okay, who is she now? Do I make the choice of still loving that, if you want to be with them, of course.
Right.
To still love this partner and learn the new person that they are in this
Accept
moment,
them
whether it's
for who
every
they
year,
are.
every 5 years, every 10 years,
Accept
whatever.
them.
And a lot of people don't do that. They get stuck with this past version. And then they're like, that's not what
are
I used to do.
you?
Da, da, da. It's like, bro, we're like old now. We're in different situations. We got
Yeah.
kids or whatever.
Yeah.
Learn who they are and decide if that is a person you want to continue loving. And because loving the person every day is a choice. You don't
Yes.
wake up and just be like, I just
I'm
feel like being married
obligated,
today. You know,
yeah.
like you got to wake
I
up and
don't
be like,
like
I'm
that
going
word.
to love this person today because I want to love
I
them.
want
Yeah,
to.
I want
Yeah.
to.
Yeah,
I want to
I'd
show
like to
up.
see their
I want to
smile.
love you.
Yeah.
I will do the work that is needed to make sure that I am going to show up for you. I may not be the best. I may not understand at times, but I'm here with you.
Yeah, let's grow
And
together.
Let's grow
show
together.
me what you got now, and
I want to
let's
see the
figure
good,
this
the bad,
out.
the ugly side. Like
Yeah.
I want to see all versions of you because I am the person that wants the best of you, the best from you. And you may not provide, like you may be going through a stage, like for me, there may be times where I may be going through something and it may be like temporarily, you know, like I may be thinking something. It's like, oh, I want to do this. And it may be temporarily. And it's like, oh, I'm this now. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I am. I'm this, I'm that. And they're like, okay, well, last year you like this. And it's like, yeah, but times have changed. My mind has changed. And so
Yeah, it's
what are we
getting
going to
know
do?
the person.
That's hard.
You know?
As a man, that could get confusing.
It's like the whiplash
Yeah.
with like being different.
But that's when you ask questions.
You know, I got red hair, then I got blue hair,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
I got green
You have to ask
hair.
questions like,
then-
are you going through an identity? Yeah.
That's just
Oh my God. Like, what's that?
I wish you would
metaphorically
see when other
speaking. It's
people-
like, girl, you are changing so much, and I'm trying my best to keep up.
Cosmetic,
But
Just in case
damn.
you wanted to see other people.
But don't act like you know. Don't act like it's not for everybody though. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody changes. I mean, and here's the thing. Like let's talk about cheating for a second, right?
Oh, goodness.
I think it's so interesting when people want to justify cheating, and in my opinion, cheating comes from a lack of communication.
Yes.
Cheating comes from a lack
Yes.
of honesty.
Yes.
And bravery,
Right?
because you don't have the balls to walk away from something that no longer serves you. You want your cake and eat it too,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just like, I just don't want to do it to them, or I'm comfortable here, but I
But
still
you still want this
this
person in your life, but you
Yeah,
still want to go
that's
out
what
in
But here's
the
the
world.
thing. But here's the thing, and especially you're talking about marriages of 30 years or whatever. You like things change.
Yeah.
Things cannot stay the same.
Right.
Right. And so I'm gonna go there. So I thought it was really interesting when my
like, please.
when my
I wanna
OB
hear it.
when my OB right, my OB was talking like, and he was a man that he is a man that has multiple children, right? And he was like, yeah, he was like, my wife isn't pleased the same way that she used to be pleased. So we had to bring in other sources, toys, things like that to get her
spice
there.
things up,
Spice
yeah.
things up, right? So having that communication with your partner to being like, hey, I need another partner. I want this. Have you thought about swinging? Have you thought about toys? Have you thought about whatever? As long as the communication is there, that
And
bond is
understanding.
strong. Exactly. And again, if that's not the person for you, that's not the person for you, right? But
having those conversations are scary.
It is.
Because
why are
it's-
they scary though?
Because
Because
required.
it's
It's
the
a
fear of
especially-
losing the other person.
But
But that's your
Rejection.
partner.
But that's your partner, right? So again, you're talking about a companion versus a partner, because if that's
Both
your
are
partner,
companions.
You would be able to go to that person at any time, any given day, and say, hey, you know, I've been thinking about this. It may be hard, but it's required. It's required because you
So-
want to
because
grow
you're
with this
honest
person.
and I'm not sure
your
that's-
man, if your man comes up to y'all and he says, hey, I know, you know, our sex life isn't what it used to be. You know, we don't have sex as often and my sex drive is still high. I'm ready to get out there and do my thing. do you have an issue with me periodically going out there and being with other women?
Time out. Wait a second.
Do you want to get
We
choked?
jumped.
Sorry.
We jumped something, right? Like you completely jumped a whole
How
thing.
so?
Yeah.
But that is.
What do you mean how so?
Because poly relationships are a thing these days. That's like.
Wait a
it's
second.
almost-
Wait a second. The way that I want you to rewind
the way you worded it?
The way you worded it.
Oh
I want
my
you to
God,
rewind that
man.
and listen to what you just said.
All right, so
you did not
take
say
what I said.
No.
Take what I said and then put it in like some fucking.
Again, you're not listening to what I'm trying to say to
woman
you.
love language.
No,
and
you're not listening to what I'm
spit it
trying to say
back
to you.
out.
What I'm trying to say to you is you came and you said, well, there are things
I love
that
it.
I want to do outside of our
Right.
relationship.
Ego.
You didn't say, hey,
Let's do this together.
thank you.
Okay.
He put it in the context. He put it in the
You are
context that we were
dismissing-
talking about being honest
Yeah.
and open with
You're
what he's
dismissing your
really
partner.
feeling and thinking, communicating that. That's
Yeah.
what I think he was trying to do. But I know what you're saying
Include
because
me.
he didn't. He said, "Hey, me. I
Yep.
my this,
Yeah.
my that." It's like, wait a minute, there's not me.
It's a
And I
morning
have-
episode.
I have a higher sex drive, so I
I'm
need
gonna
to
go
find
out
somebody
and
else.
This is what
And
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
do.
do.
You are okay with
I
this
hope you're
because
okay
you're
with
gonna
it.
have some issues.
Wait.
with
Either you
like,
deal with it or
where
not,
is
but I'm doing
the-
All right,
this.
so
we
from
in
a
this
woman's
part?
perspective, what is the correct way of approaching your spouse and saying that?
Hey, baby, I really want, I I would like to do it tonight or whatever, or that kind of thing. And it's like, you've been tired a lot. So what can I do to, to increase this with us? Would you be open to toys? Would you be open to
Other
to
people.
other
Keyword,
people?
or whatever it is you're trying.
right? So
all about
first
keywords.
off, you have to come to the relationship and recognize where you are, right? And say, hey, I'm not getting everything that I need right now.
Right.
Right. Like I want it, but it seems like it's
how I'm feeling.
it seems like we're not doing it as much as we used to do it. Right.
Ask
So what
questions.
can I do to change this?
Yes. Are you
Right?
feeling, is there something wrong with you that's not allowing you to express the way to me that you normally do? Like, is there something that you're not telling me?
that way.
I'm just saying.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? That's not
not
the way I would
saying
approach
that
it.
Hey man, you need to get your shit together. Shit, come on.
This way for somebody to get defensive. There's nothing wrong with
There's nothing wrong with you, but I'm saying like, sometimes we may be going through something mentally that we don't tell our partner and we don't realize where we not show up. So for example, like if I'm stressed out and my partner may want to, have sex or something and I'd be like, it's not you, it's just what I'm going through mentally or something that I'm going through and I'm not telling you because I'm trying to get it together myself. You know what I mean? So I think I would reword it like,
That's what I'm saying. It comes down to the way
are you
say
okay?
things. Of like,
I'm worried
yeah.
about.
Like for
Needs to be a
example,
lot
you see
more
how he
eyes.
said
Worried.
about me and my
Keywords.
wants, and I like.
Keywords.
She's like, no, baby boy, no. It's about what are we gonna do about this? Yeah, it's like
It's over. Come on.
So communication, in my little humble opinion, communication is just as important as how
Yes.
you say things.
Yes.
Because a lot of people can get defensive and shut down real quickly
sure.
if you make them feel like it's them.
not.
It's like
Yeah.
you're coming up to me with a problem. You're saying I'm the issue.
Right,
Let me
right.
start getting defensive at you. So you need to be able to, and it's just
How you
just a
word
fact.
things.
Yeah. Whether you are like,
Yeah.
oh, you're too sensitive. I don't care.
No.
You need to make sure that the way you're wording things doesn't hurt your partner, and you are trying to get them to open up
You
to
want
you
them
to
to feel
tell
important.
you what's wrong. If
Yeah.
you're coming at them a certain way, people are not going to communicate with you. So
Exactly.
you want communication, you got to learn to communicate in a way that is not offensive. If you're truly
You
trying to
want
grow with this
answers.
person,
You
yeah,
want
if you're truly
them
trying
to
to
be
grow.
open. Yeah, for
so
sure.
in the sex life, everybody's different as far as whatever you want with your partners. Everybody takes things different. I know a friend of mine who has something like that, what you just mentioned, like has a high sex drive, maybe, the wife isn't the same as him, and, it maybe decides to explore otherwise. But the point is I think it comes down to the communicating of like, hey, this is how I'm feeling. What do you think is the solution? I maybe think this or maybe think that. Imagine you say that to your. I think, well, how do you feel if I go once in a while, to myself? And she's gonna be like, hey, excuse me. Now you're over here thinking I'm being
Motherfucker,
open.
what'd you say?
I'm being
What'd you say,
honest. It's
motherfucker?
like, you're asking for permission
About
to
to cut
cheat
your
right
throat.
now? It's like, yeah, exactly. So it's like, how are you including her? Because at this point, you're saying my needs, me.
Yeah.
You're not even giving a damn of how she's feeling or why she's feeling that way or how she will feel.
Right.
You're just saying.
And now you're making her
yeah.
feel worse. And now she's like, you know what? Now I really don't want to be a part of whatever you're saying because now you're making me feel like even more less than what I was feeling already, instead of coming to me and having an open conversation and including, like you guys said, the way that you word things, right? So it's like, hey, like I've been noticing, blah, 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 and I was just wondering how we can be able to improve, or if there's something that I'm doing that's wrong, or if there's something that we can do together. Like, so I definitely agree.
So something I learned in the acting job that I have, which I think is amazing, is always using I feel.
Yes.
So starting everything with I feel. So versus starting it off with like, well, I've been noticing that you've been really prudish lately, right? Or whatever, right? Right. So I'm already starting it out with I've been noticing this. Yeah. Right. It's been like I've been feeling like I haven't had my sexual needs met right now.
Right. Your own stuff. I've noticed, and maybe it's just my generation, but the feeling word.
Girl, we all in the same generation.
Okay, I'm sorry. No, I'm just saying. No. I'm just saying like young. I'm just saying like people who are now dating, like who are now learning to like date. Like older generations and older people that's been dating for a while, like the feeling, they're like, that's important. But like the new people that's out there dating, they're like, the feeling, like, what are you in your feelings for? Like feeling, like, why are you feeling like that? You need to get your feelings, get out your feelings. And
that's
it's just like, whoa.
An extreme person that is like,
you need to relax. Because if I feel like this, that means that there's something that's on my mind, my heart.
Something happened, yeah.
And I'm impacted by it, and I need to feel like maybe I'm feeling is wrong. Maybe I'm assuming. Maybe I'm all over the place.
But it comes down to that. You're assuming communication.
Whatever it may be, the lack of. That's why it's important that we need to have conversations.
But here's the thing. You can never argue with someone's feelings.
Exactly.
You can't tell them you don't feel this.
So that's
the point I'm trying to make.
That's why by saying I feel,
yes,
nobody can argue with you about that.
Yeah,
you can't.
They can either say I'm sorry for making you feel that way,
right,
or they can be like,
well,
when you did this, that's why I did this, and that lets you know right there
they're not the one.
They're not the one.
They're not the one,
right? Because again, they can't argue with your feeling. They can't say, well, if I feel frustrated, well, then maybe you shouldn't be doing all that all the time or whatever. And it's like,
whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But again, that's how a lot of people operate. A lot of people operate like that. And so having the knowledge and having the self-awareness, whatever, lets you know, okay, yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's no need to even go to a different conversation.
Because again, you cannot argue with anybody's feelings because that is how they feel.
No.
You can just say that was never my intention.
Yeah.
And if you find an excuse for it, then that's not the one for you.
Not the one.
I feel like also communicating.
That's a bit extreme.
What?
If they just make one little mistake, or let me not say little, but they make one mistake and they're saying, well, I didn't mean to make you feel like this, but I'm still like validating what I did and how I feel. And yeah, my actions made you feel this way, but I still believe in this.
But again, we're talking about communication. So what you just said right there was I didn't mean to make you feel that way. That's the first thing that you said. Right? So you're already apologizing and acknowledging that you made them feel a certain way, right? If you had said, well, when you did so and so,
that's crazy.
That's why I did that.
That's just doing something to do because you felt some type of way, and that's just fucking childish, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it's so
common.
It's
common.
So common. It is so common.
And you would think like even people who are like, I've been in relationships, I only date men that's older than me. And it's like, wait a minute, how are you 40 plus and you
She's gonna have a 21-year-old man of her dreams come across and she's just gonna
you never know.
You're too young.
You never know, whatever God presents my way.
Could have been the most mature, outgoing, just perfect 21-year-old that could have swooped you up.
But speaking of communication, whether it's an apology or just being plain honest, you cannot control how the other person takes what you say. There's absolutely nothing you could be completely remorseful about it. And I'm so sorry. But if they don't want to accept your apology and they say that one was my limit, there's absolutely nothing you could do. You could be very much true, like, come on, let's work it out. And you cannot fault them for how they accepted you because you take things differently. Yeah. Now, I also feel communicating saves time. If they're not your person, the sooner you find out, the better. Don't waste time with them because communicating, you will be able to see. you know what? Like you said, like I'm expressing this with the opportunity to see if we can grow together. And he's like, well, and you're like, oh no, this ain't for me.
Oh, thank you.
Automatically, you already know I'm not wasting time with this. Thank you very much for the opportunity, but we're done. So you don't waste time. And also with the understanding that no matter what you say, doesn't matter if it's an apology or what are you saying, you cannot control how they say it. I mean, how they receive it. So as long as you have that knowledge and not try to twist it. But I'm apologizing. Why in the hell are you like not taking me back? It's like,
no, that's manipulation.
If you're really apologizing, you're really sorry what you did. Then you are remorseful regardless if I accept your apology.
Exactly.
If you're only remorseful with the contingent fact of me saying I forgive you, then you're not really sorry. Because you're not sorry for you're only sorry until you're only sorry if I forgive you. Yeah. But if I don't forgive you, you're like, then I'm not fucking sorry. Well, then I guess you're not sorry. Then you so it's just like if you're really sorry, it doesn't matter what X, Y, and Z person says, that they take you back or not. Yeah. It's room for you to grow as a person and not do that stuff again. Definitely. But if you're not real, then you're, you know what? Like, when they say actions, if they don't match your words, words to the wind. You only change by your deeds and your actions, not by your words. I don't care what your words say. Your mouth's moving, but I don't care. I want to see how you move. That's what tells me if you really change. Exactly. At least that's just how I am. Maybe not everybody's that way. Right.
I mean, I agree with you 100%. Like, if your actions aren't showing the shit, then you could talk all day the best.
You could say sorry you want, but
you could talk that game all you want. But
like when people are like, I'm sorry, and it's just like, you're such a sorry person, aren't you? Because apology is like,
oh my God, that's such a woman thing to say.
I mean, because it's like some people will be like, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, and they don't change their action. They feel like because they're saying sorry is the way
remedy.
It's a remedy, and it's like, no, Band-Aid. But you're continuously showing me that you're this person, and your actions continuously show me over time that you do this. So are you really sorry, or you're just a sorry person?
Okay, how many times can you forgive somebody for doing the same thing?
I'm always going to forgive no matter what, because God
says,
no
right answer
you know what I'm
for
saying?
that. Everybody's different. Some people just like one and I'm done. Other people just like fool me once. It's shame on you, fool me twice, and I'm done. Other people's is like,
I'm gonna give you 10 tries.
As long as you have feelings, it's easier to get them to forgive you because you still want it to work. Yeah. Once you force them to go into the heartbreak of getting over you, and you want to come back and say sorry, it's like,
I've already recovered.
I'm sorry, but you already forced me to go through the hard part of losing you and not having you in my life. Now you want to come back? No.
I'm good. So, because I'm such a person, I give grace. Like, I'm like, you know what? Once upon a time, I did these things in relationships. I was a narcissist. I was this. I was that because I was hurt. I was married for 5 years. So I went through this. And so I thought because I went through the struggles of my marriage, that was how a marriage or relationship was supposed to be. It wasn't right. And then when I started to realize, like, okay, you know what? I had to change some things about me. And then there was grace that people gave me. But then I realized also I shouldn't give so much grace to other people because they take that and they use it for their advantage. And they're just like, oh, she's just going to forgive me and I'm going to continue to do it. Like,
you just got to know what your boundaries are.
You just got to know your boundaries. You got to know who you are.
At the beginning.
You got to make sure like that person is really trying to develop the greatness in them and their characteristics, like if they're really trying, like if you really see them, like, and that's why I think it's so important too, like with every relationship that you're in, you have to have God as a center because both of you are going to make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. But if you guys come down together and say, you know what, I see that you're trying and I see that you're putting in effort, but here's a little push because I know that we can grow to being better, then I'm going to work with you. But if I see you're just being lazy and you're just doing it just to do it and you just feel like, you know what, she's just going to be here and she's just going to accept it, you have to go. Because we shouldn't be wasting each other's time like this.
Yeah, time is valuable.
You're blocking me from my husband. So you need to go.
Like, I love that. It's like, I love that chain of like, get out my husband's way.
Yeah,
please.
like you're blocking me from my husband's way.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at me?
All right, so I got a question, and I would love for you to answer this one first. Oh, go ahead. Use the one downstairs. Oh, damn, I didn't show you where the bathroom is. Yeah. So downstairs and around the corner. To the right or left? To the right, then left. So, Adriane, I want to ask you this one first, and Felecia, feel free to chime in after. How do you balance self-love with being in a relationship, and can someone love somebody else without truly loving themselves first?
Okay, I'm going to answer that second part first. I think the second part is no. So you have to understand how to love yourself. And I feel like especially in our society, a lot of times people don't even know themselves before they get into a major relationship, right? Especially younger people, right? Like,
because you don't know.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
let's.
let's talk about, kids. I was so in love with him or whatever, and it's like you don't
even know what love is.
You don't even know what love is. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's always those stories. There's always that tale, and then when you hear about like high school love, you're like, wow, like that's amazing because you guys have grown together, right? Like. Nobody that's their high school sweetheart or whatever has not gone through a full and total transformation in their relationship because you are not the same person you were when you guys met in high school. So I think that you definitely have to have love for yourself before you can love somebody else truly, right? And with a high school relationship, obviously their parents taught them enough to love themselves, you know what I'm saying? So to understand how to be a partner for someone. What was the first part of that question again?
It was, how do you balance self-love with being in a relationship? I know there's times when you're in a relationship and you're so consumed with your other person. All right, I know I have to make dinner tonight, or I know I got to make that coffee in the morning, or whatever it may be, is sometimes you lose yourself when you're trying to love for the other person.
Well, I think the second part of the question is really where it comes from, right? So you're talking about loving yourself. So, okay, I'm gonna say. So there's this phenomenal comedy special on Hulu from Roy Wood Jr. and it's called Lonely Flowers, and the whole thing is talking about connection. Right. And so he makes this joke about how he's on a plane. So the whole thing is about connection, but he makes this joke about how he's on a plane and like this couple comes up to him and is like, "Oh, can I sit beside my wife?" And he was like, "No." He was like, "If you can't do a 3-hour ride, you can't. Y'all ain't gonna make it,
yeah,
right?" And so that's where that comes from. Again, it's a joke. It's funny, but having that time to yourself, making that time for yourself. I'm not saying it's on the plane. I'm not saying, you know what I mean, but self-care, self-love is not having to do everything with your partner. People that do have to do everything together generally end up hating each other. Generally end up hating they generally end up
of each other.
They get tired of each other, right? So having your own friends, circle of friends to go out with, having your own activities to do outside, when you go to work, like if you guys work together, if there's a couple that does everything together, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And I'm not saying it's impossible.
like-
I'm not saying it can't happen.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that it's very rare.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming,
And
right?
I feel like you have to be together all the time because you're either scared that somebody is going to go out and cheat or whatever. Like that's
not healthy.
And that's not healthy at all. Like if you literally have to be in my space all day, every second of the hour, it's like...
I like being alone.
I like being alone,
I need that little
But
bit
you
of
also need to
time.
communicate that really well to your
Yeah.
partner,
Have
right?
to, 'cause it can get misconstrued.
You need to
did-
set those boundaries and you need to make it very clear as to like, hey babe, yeah, like especially if you're dating, right? If you're dating someone, where it's like, yeah, babe, no, not tonight. Like I'm just gonna chill. Like I just need to kind of calm down for my week, or whatever. And again, that's about communication. That's about having the good conversation with your partner and being able to express that, and that partner being able to hear it and be like,
and not take offense.
and not take offense to it, right? Or encourage them to be like, hey, or like if you guys are living together, hey, why don't you go out? You haven't seen so and so in such a long time. Why don't you go out with them and reconnect with them? Oh yeah, I should. You know what I mean? But like having that. So I think to answer your full question, self-care is about taking care of yourself and doing things on your own and being able to enjoy that time with yourself away from your partner.
You have to
and a
do
lot
it
of that is
yourself.
because of self-love.
You have to. I think, like, backing off what you're saying, I had got the tattoo "Love Yourself" on, tatted on my arm because it's so important. Because we lose ourselves in relationships, and we don't even realize it because we be so invested in our partners. I'm like, "Are we doing this together? Are we doing this together?" And we're like, "But
What about you?
what about you?
Yeah.
I thought you like to go on the walks by yourself to the park. I thought you like to meditate." So it really takes a lot to get that space from your partner when you're so used to being with your partner all the time. And then when you get time with yourself, it's like, wait, how do I do this?
What do I do now?
What am I doing now? Like, wait. And it's like, that is so healthy. Like having space in your relationship, because then you're able to have more of a conversation. Like, what did you do today? Oh, how was it when you went out with your friends? Or how was it when you went with your guys? I'm so happy that you were able to get out with your friends. And now when you come home and you and your wife or who and your partner have a conversation, it's like, oh, okay, I missed you. I actually missed you, you know, because you really want to start dating yourself. And you may do something by yourself and be like, you know what? I actually want to incorporate this in my relationship, to be honest with you.
You know what I mean? So much better with you.
Yeah. You know, there's going to be times where, like, for me, I like to do things by myself. I love my own company. Sometimes I'll just want to watch Girlfriends by myself and not be bothered. You know?
I definitely would not want to watch Girlfriends.
And that's okay.
Go watch that.
You know, that is my show. They're toxic, but that's some things, like, you know, that I like to do by myself, reading by myself. So when you're spending so much time with your partner, it's like you're not giving each other time to breathe. You're not giving each other that time to decompress and miss each other. And when you don't love yourself enough, it's like you need people around you to fulfill that voidment, like, you know, what you have to face by yourself. So
That
it's
emptiness.
like, that emptiness. So whether they're there with you or not, you're still okay. You're still okay.
Yeah, it's important actually to, as a person who's been single for a really long time.
I like how you pulled up and you just like, you already knew what was going down.
I heard your questions briefly before I left.
Okay, got you.
About self-love, I think
Yeah,
was your
yeah.
question, right? And from what I heard, I agree with them. You know, I do believe that you have an identity before you meet this person. You had a life before them. And I understand that, you know, when men become wife, they become one. At the same time, you know, you cannot forget that you have your own person, because what if that marriage doesn't work?
Right.
Who are you after they leave?
Who
And
are
it's
you?
like,
That's big.
and I know, because I had this relationship for a really long time, and I started really young as a teenager. It ended when I was an adult, and I was like, my entire life was dedicated to him. Like, and when I no longer had him, I was like, I don't even know what I like. I was like, what do I do with myself? My entire time was dedicated to him.
yeah.
And then I was like, I had to start with one thing. I was like, well, I think I like dancing. I was like, I'm going to see where that goes and see if anything flows from there. And that was all I needed, just a tiny little thread. And then my life developed. So now that I've had this amazing opportunity to develop into the person that I am, because it is a privilege,
Very much so. To go through this life.
To go through this life and experience what I experienced, right?
So wake up the next day and be able to have
That's
a
a
chance to
blessing
do it
right there.
again.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Then I found, you know, in a different mindset, you can think, oh, going to the movies by yourself, or going to eat by yourself, it's like, you know, so sad. It's like, I
enjoy it.
Like, I had such a
it.
fun time.
You can tell we're
when I'm
all
with
at least in our
anybody.
30s
Oh my
or
gosh,
close to
my
it.
God.
Just telling my
I had
best friend.
such a good time by myself.
I'm about to go out to dinner on Thursday by myself next week.
There's
now,
sometimes,
you know?
and I'm
one special one.
I'm about to
for
get
one,
there
like,
too,
asking about
and I'm the one, baby. Let's go.
I'm getting both specials for me.
It is, you know, even my brother who is married also finds time to, like, say, go to the movies by himself because he needs a little breather. And I think that's healthy. Like she said, it's okay. You have to know who you are first. Learn to love yourself in your own company first. So you don't feel this need, this unhealthy need of, I need somebody here to complete me, to feel loved. To feel, It's like, no, baby girl, you got to be
that's
okay by
toxic.
yourself.
It's not
How do
fair
you
to the
know?
other person.
Exactly.
Because if you're sitting there
Expectations.
and you're like, I'm mad, I'm frustrated, I'm irritated because you're not here or around, it's like, God damn, motherfucker, I just went to the grocery store.
And
You
it
know, I'm
comes
going to
down-
get my
yeah.
nails done or my hair done. I need a
Like, oh
moment.
my gosh, like,
I'm
yeah.
at work.
Yeah, so that's the codependency of, like, you
Yes.
can't even take an hour or two by yourself because I'm just like, bro, like, listen,
You need
like,
to relax.
you need to self-soothe or something, okay? Because go have your boy time. You know, I trust you
Yes.
enough to go have your boy time. I know I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna do anything if you're in a healthy relationship,
Yeah.
right? So I feel like not losing your identity when you're with somebody is very important. Now, obviously, when you get together and you're married, then you create your identities together and you grow together. But completely losing it and completely, like, disavowing who you are, what you like, and whatever, to be with just this one person, it's like,
unfair to yourself.
well, it's unfair to yourself and it's unfair to the other person. A lot of
Yes.
pressure on them too. To, hey,
Yes.
complete me. And again, if something happens, you're no longer with this person. It's
And
a
I
lot
experienced
to
that.
Yeah,
Oh
so
my
it's
gosh.
very
When I
important.
was married and for 5 years, me and my husband did everything together. And literally, it's like, you know, when you have I'm not too sure if you guys have children, but I have a son. I couldn't use the bathroom.
I got one of them things.
You know, he was on my leg. My husband's in
now.
my face. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Get the fuck away from me.
I'm waking up. He's like, good morning. And I'm like, good morning. And it's like, I close my eyes. Like, you know, and then when we divorced, I'm like, what am I going to do with myself? Because everything I did was with him. And so.
Gonna tell me good morning.
Yeah, I was like, who's going to tell me good morning? Me. I'm telling myself good rising. How about that? You know what I mean? Yeah. And then I realized that the things that I did in my marriage with my partner, they were great. They were fun. You know, they're memories. But now we're moving on. And now it's the time to have time with self. And the things that you thought you were having fun and things that you thought that you liked, you don't like them anymore. So now when you have that time with yourself and you're learning yourself and you're building yourself up, and of course, I think that time is really important too, because you're getting time like
learn.
Well, yeah, you learn. And then with me, that's my time with my creator. So there may be times where I have to talk to God about some things and you may not be included because he may need to tell me some things, not about you, but more solely about me and how I can be a better version of myself, for myself, and maybe for you as well, you know? So it's like...
But that's when you have to get with somebody who
understands.
You have similar beliefs. I feel like when you don't have the similar beliefs, it's very difficult.
Similar trajectory.
Yeah.
Well,
You
beliefs
both have
and
to be growing equally or have a path of growth in mind. If you have a person that's stagnant and another person that's growing, you're just going to outgrow the other person.
Well, it's the same thing. Whether if you're a goal setter, you're growing, right? You're trying to go get stuff. And
Shit,
there's
you would
somebody
hope
who
so.
doesn't want.
You got to be a goal
But
achiever.
it's about your mentality. So
Yeah.
this is what I'm saying about when I believe mentality. Because if you're like saying somebody's a person that likes the mediocre life, I'm good with just like, you know what I mean?
And there's nothing wrong with that
There's
either.
nothing wrong with that. That's what floats your boat.
Just
Good
chilling.
for you. But then you got to get with somebody
Shit.
who is similar to
Yeah.
you because
Yes.
you're not
Yes.
you're
not
not
gonna be happy.
completely So same thing. So you in the time with God, I'm the same way with God. So I need to be with somebody that understands that my love for God. And if you're somebody who, let's just say, mocks that or doesn't understand that or tries to devalue it, then I'll be like,
That's not
oh,
cool.
we're
Yeah,
not,
that's not
we're
cool.
we don't have the same
have that.
beliefs. I don't care how great you are. We're going to grow apart. I don't even have to wait 10 years down the line to see that. I can tell you right now, it's not going to be that. Now, a lot of people would be like, oh, well, we stay together. I'll help him grow. No.
That's not
It's not
you
your
can't
job.
instill
It's not your
faith.
job.
No, it's not your
Yeah.
job to grow a man or grow a woman. It's like you can
That's
help
absurd.
them.
Exactly.
You can help them and you can grow together.
Make it a
little bit
Let me help
easier,
you.
like,
Yeah, absolutely. But
Here's the path.
you have
Here's
to
the
grow
tools, yeah.
them, like teach them how to be that or do this or do
Because
that.
now
It's
you're
like
taking
you're
away
trying
from
to
you.
change them.
You're taking away from you, and it's like you're putting all this energy into this person, and then now it's taken away from you, and it's like you feel empty now, and now you feel drained, and
Oh
now
my God,
you feel
yeah,
like
that is.
You
oh my
gotta
God.
thrive. Like my idea of a relationship is a person, two people that are thriving.
Yes.
That come together and accept each other for who they are, and they grow together. Now it's a lot easier said than done, but you have to be
work.
honest with yourself first. If you're not honest with yourself, then you're just fabricating lies for the entirety of the relationship.
Yeah.
Be honest with yourself. Get up and hold yourself accountable for the things that you're doing and trying to do. And also, like I said before, accept the person that you're with.
Absolutely.
Hey, you want to go out and do this? Go and do that shit. Go have fun. I'm going to sit on my ass and play some video
Well, it's not
games
always
tonight. I have a couple
accepting
extra
exactly
hours.
where they are. Like life is a Ferris wheel. Sometimes you're up here, sometimes you're down here. So if you're up here and you meet somebody down here, can't judge them for being up here because you don't know when you're coming down.
You don't
or
know
they're
the start
coming back
either,
up.
though.
Yes.
Exactly. No, absolutely. What
The
I'm saying
start
is,
is
as long
You
as
just never
you're not
know.
trying to stay down here, if you see that they're trying to get up here,
Like, come on,
how's the
baby,
regular
let's go.
fight?
Shit. I'm
that's
gonna give
what
you the
I'm talking
ladder. What's
about.
up?
It's like, then
I'm gonna
I
encourage
understand.
you.
Yeah.
If you both want to stay down here, then baby, you're meant for each other. But what I'm saying is that if you are
And that's
here
cool
and you're
too.
here,
Shit.
hey, there's nothing wrong with whoever. Man, there's some
called
homeless
him
people
NPC,
married. I'm like,
you know what I'm saying?
y'all are homeless people married before me. I was like, so it's like, that's what I'm saying. I'm not begging. I'm just saying, as long as you recognize that sometimes you're gonna meet people in different stages of their lives, and you can't judge them for where they're at. As long as you feel like they can get here. Now, I'm not talking about dating potential.
I was gonna say,
Obviously,
potential
after a
is not
while,
it.
you could be like, all right, I see that where this
Yeah.
is going. It's not, we're not on the same
Yeah.
page or wavelength.
Yeah.
What is
Then, like,
potential?
see-
What is potential? Like people that talk a big game, is that potential?
No.
Because if a person comes up, that goes back to the manipulating thing that we talked about earlier. If a guy comes up to you and he talks the biggest game in the world, I have these dreams and aspirations to do X, Y, and Z, and I'm gonna get up every day in the morning, and I'm gonna piss excellence, and I'm gonna go and fight for what I want.
It's not even what you say. It's what she sees on you.
Yeah.
It's like
But
she can
you can
see.
fabricate lies, like you were talking about
Absolutely.
before about the lady that their kids is malnourished, but on Instagram, whatever,
But
she's
she
the
ain't
greatest
a
mom
potential
ever.
good mother because she has been. He is a mother, and
So
she
it's
ain't
like
shit.
it's
It's what you see. So I can be like, you can be right here, I'm sad or whatever, and I'll be like, listen, I see the qualities you have in you to be great. And I'm trying to push you, be like, I see it. You just got to push it. I can just visualize something great for you that if you
But if
put
you don't
your,
see it-
if you don't see it though, or you don't help yourself, I can do it
I
for
can't
you.
do nothing else.
I can do nothing for
and
you.
at
And
that
that's when
time,
people
I have
break.
to release because I cannot continuously, what they say, like, oh my God, I believe in you. You can do it. You can do it. You're like, yeah,
I can't believe in you
will
more
feel like
than
a
you
nag.
believe in
You would
yourself.
feel like a nag. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like where you're at is not
They
good
will
enough.
they will
and
see you
stop-
as a
and it's like,
nag
no,
when
it's-
all they're trying to do is push you to the thing that you said that you wanted, but you don't actually really want it. You know what I mean? Or like that person doesn't really want it because
You're not doing nothing to show
you're not
it.
getting up in the morning and doing it, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not doing that every single day.
Yeah.
So that's where
Yeah.
potential has that issue, because you can have potential, but someone's
You're
going
not
to see
accomplishing.
how you are moving.
I feel like effort is everything.
Yeah.
Because like from me specifically, I don't have the answers to this shit. I don't know. Like I know what I want in life. I know where I want to go in life, but I don't know the road.
You don't have to.
I'm
You
waking
just have
up-
to know the next step.
Yep.
I'm waking
Have a
up
plan.
every day and I'm putting my best foot forward. One thing that I do know is discipline. I'm a disciplined motherfucker. I am very grateful and thankful that I was able to go and be a deep sea diver in the Army and was around a very elite group of people from 19 years old. So I'm like, okay, I'm disciplined. I may not be the smartest motherfucker and the smartest tool in the
I
shed,
got
sharpest
this.
tool in the
But
shed,
I
but
got
god damn it,
Discipline overrides
I'm gonna
that,
wake up
though.
at 4:55 or 4:53, just because I'm a little weird. 7 days a week, and I'm gonna motherfucking get after it. Whether it's left, right, up, down, wrong, right, I have no idea. But god damn it, I'm gonna put my best foot forward. That's what I could promise, right?
That's what
But
you can control.
How long from the opposite side? How long are you gonna wait and say, okay, I see the potential, but you're
but 21 days
but
of
that's,
bad
I mean,
habits.
you're already doing it.
no, not me. I'm talking about, because you were talking about potential before. I see the potential in you. How long do you give them before you say, okay, that's not potential? You're
But
just
I think
bullshitting.
you're confusing it because you're actively going
Already
after
doing
it.
it.
Yeah, you're actively going after it. You can't control the
The
outcome,
outcome.
right? But you are actively striving towards that, and so anybody can see. Oh, he's determined. Oh, he's disciplined. Oh, he's actually doing it. We're talking about the people that just sit there on their butt the
And do
entire day
nothing.
and do nothing
Okay.
and talk about no tomorrow I'm definitely gonna go to the gym tomorrow.
don't even wanna help
yeah
themselves.
tomorrow.
How many tomorrows I'm gonna do this before you say, okay, he's just
There's no
bullshitting?
time frame, bro. Everybody's different at what you're able to.
You just gotta
There's-
read their person.
Yeah, but it
just gotta
depends
know
on
your
you. Like,
partner.
are you, for example, I'm a very go-getter person. I
feel like
do
all of
not
us are at this
understand.
table.
Well, yeah, probably. But I do not fathom the mindset of being okay with being down for too long. I understand you.
Yeah.
You're gonna be down. You
Yeah.
gotta live it.
That's life.
It's gonna be
Breathe
a
it,
go
go
through
life
it.
is shit.
But staying down, I do not fathom that
Yeah.
mindset. So therefore, for me, it's a disconnect. If I see like I can see you trying, but you're very set on staying down, I'm not for you because I can try to help you, but I'm not going to drag you. And at the end of the day, you got to help yourself because for me, as a person that has worked my ass off to get myself up from the ground, and if I did it, I
can
think
do
you
it.
should be able to do it yourself. And now that may be the wrong mindset,
But it's the
because
truth.
everybody's different. Not everybody
It's-
has my strength. Not
It's
everybody has my personality.
It's truly unfair to
I
have
always
that
believe
mindset.
it.
I have the same.
True.
I believe
But that just means
how
that
you
person
feel.
is not for you. You just gotta be
Yeah.
like, okay, babe, it's okay. Go do you.
Yeah.
If you're
And there's
ready,
going to be
come find
seasons
me
where
later.
you're going to be down. And it's like, I believe that there's going to be seasons where God has you doing absolutely nothing because things are formulating. Like you did what you did, you know what I mean? Like to get where you want to go as far as your purpose, your goals, you know, you don't want to overwhelm yourself, overwork yourself. So there may be a time where you have to be seated and you really have to wait for the next plan. But to absolutely sit there and say, you know what, I'll just do it tomorrow. It's okay. And it's like, well, what if tomorrow never comes? You know what I mean? Like you want to be able to know your partner, like, you know what, I know this person is going through this, or, you know, they're having a challenging time. But if you're giving up on yourself, there is nothing that I can say or do to make you go to the next step. There's nothing that I can just show you, like, you're great. Like, remember when you did this, and, you know, like this, not, it's
but
just.
You know what? A lot of people will turn that around and be
use
like,
manipulation.
Oh, you don't want to be with, you don't want to help somebody build them up. And like saying, like kind of like, oh, you're going to leave me because I'm down or I can't help myself. Like, what a bitch. You're leaving me because I'm going through a tough. I was like, I'm not leaving you because you're going through a tough time. Everybody goes through it. Right. I'm going to give you the grace that you need and help you out when we got to go through this together, baby. I'm there. But you reach a point, it's like where I'm not your mother. I cannot mother you. I cannot build you. I cannot make you want to help yourself. So it's like, you know, it's like, so at the same time, it's like, this is the kind of woman I am, and I'm trying to bring you with me. But it's like, if you're adamant to stay behind and you're pulling me, I'm going to let go, baby. I'm going to let go.
We both can't drown.
You have to. So you're not going to make me feel bad for not staying and saying, oh, you walked away from me when I was in my lowest. It's like,
how
no,
long
I stayed.
was your low?
Exactly. That's my
Let me ask you
and how do you know this is not
because if your low was all of your 20s, it's like, is that your low? Is that just you, motherfucker?
Exactly.
Like,
At some point,
like,
you
I'm
have
not-
to be
I'm-
like, if you are now, what is that word I'm looking for? Affecting,
You're a
tarnishing,
burden.
or pulling me,
Varsity.
like my growth is being hindered
Yeah.
by you. Then
By
that's
your actions.
that's a
and
self-preservation.
you're pulling
of like,
me
I can't be
down.
here.
You're pulling me
And
down.
that sucks too.
Yeah.
To
It's like
get to
misery
that
loves
point.
misery loves company.
Yes.
So it's like, you know, I refuse to watch you give up on yourself.
To simmer.
And I
To
refuse
simmer in your bullshit.
Yeah, it's like, no, I have
Yeah.
to make a decision, an executive decision for the best interest of myself, because I did all that I could do for you to see that I'm here for you and I'm cheering you on. But you have to make that executive step for yourself to be the best for you, because at the end of the day, nobody can make you do anything that you don't want to do.
Yeah. So I think to answer your question, it comes to not a time of how many tomorrows. It's like, when you reach a point of it starts affecting you personally, your anxiety comes in, or whatever
Your
it is.
mental whatever.
Then at that point you're like, okay, let me
I gotta detach.
reassess this, because now it's affecting me how you are being, and then that is when you want to have that conversation with yourself and with your partner, because it's fair to say if something don't change. You know, this is not just like, oh, I'm out, I'm leaving. Like, no, I'm telling you right now, this is where it's going. So it's on you to make the choice. To, hey, let's move on, let's move up, let's grow, let's figure this out. Or, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm like, okay, no problem, I understand, but I just can't be here anymore. And you're gonna have to understand and respect that.
Oh, so transparency. Let me ask y'all: is it okay to go through your spouse or the person you're with's phone or social media accounts?
Well, why are you doing it?
You're doing this because you don't trust somebody, or what?
Exactly.
It's like, then that's a bigger issue.
So lack of
It's like,
so lack of communication, right? It all comes back to communication.
it all comes down to now what's the real root of this issue right here? You feel the need to go through it. They're giving me a reason to it, or is it just to test, some people are playful, be like, let me go through your phone.
Yeah.
Just to see what you say, just to be playful. And they might actually be like, oh, he's going to say yes. And you actually say no. Then that was like,
That'll
wait a
open
minute.
up a
I didn't
whole
expect
new
that
can of
answer.
worms.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Some people do it just to joke, and it opens up something else. So it just depends on why are you asking. What are you needing it for?
Right.
So
Okay. I feel like
Y'all have a secret joke over there, huh?
I know you're over there thinking somebody did something.
No, she got some bullshit in her phone or something. That's what it is.
No.
Shit,
Because you know what? I've actually grown from this, but I was a queen of, you know what? Let me see your phone. You know, or, you know, I will go through the phone. But that was because it was a lack of trust, and there was cheating. And then I was like, you know what? Why am I even going through this phone if this person have already shown me that they're going to do X, Y, and Z? And then now my whole day is ruined, and now I'm over here crashing out. Doing
Why are you in a relationship if there's no trust?
You know what I mean?
I mean, here's the thing: they're most
We live and we
likely-
learn, but-
they're most likely putting people on their phone as different names anyway.
Yes,
right? So it was like
all these
Shannon was
different-
was really bothered.
Right? Pizza Hut calling you. Oh, I ordered a Pizza Hut.
That's
Bobby,
too much.
like, but again, but I mean,
That's
so I mean,
too
so
much.
so,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like again, so
But
there's
I
no
feel
trust in
like, you know,
relationship.
at that time, I was like, you know, we're living together, and you know, you go through my phone, I go through your phone, but now I'm like, no, don't go through my phone, and I won't go through your phone.
No, don't ask for nothing if you don't want to
Here's
find
the
out.
thing.
what to do.
Here's the
Exactly.
So you gotta
thing.
be careful.
Exactly. And
Like,
I've learned so much from that because it's like you are literally stealing peace from your own mind because you want to go
privacy
through
of people.
privacy.
Like, I don't have nothing to hide, but it's just my
Exactly.
privacy. I don't want to show it to you.
they gave me their
It's just
passcode.
different. It's wherever
I mean,
stage
I'm
in
open.
your relationship.
Yeah, if I'm in a relationship with you, I'm open. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
for sure.
care. Like,
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
through my phone or whatever.
Yeah.
But
if it's a newbie person you're dating, be like, why? I'm like, I don't like
yeah, a
your
newbie
phone.
person. Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah, no.
first few dates. No, we're not doing
No.
that.
If
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
married,
Sure.
yeah,
You need
yeah.
to, that's what I'm saying. Marriage, of course,
But
you
again-
know, but like newbies, and it's like.
But here's
chill
the thing.
out.
But I mean, but if you're like, what are you doing? Don't go with my phone. Then of course red flags
the
go
question.
off, and
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
well, what am I not?
Yeah.
What am I
So
not
maybe
supposed to
just
see?
joking around it once in a while, just to see what you're supposed to say. But it's for fun and just to kind of like, I don't know. Maybe that opens a can of words that you don't want to open. So it's on.
I would rather not.
individuals.
I would just rather not at this time. Like you're gonna do what people are gonna do what they're gonna do regardless. You know, you can delete messages. You can, like you said, save it underneath Pizza Hut, and it's not really Pizza Hut. Like
why
you
is Pizza Hut
just
calling you
Papa
at
John's.
midnight?
yeah, like
Why is Pizza Hut calling you at midnight? What is she delivering?
What else you got?
why is Pizza Hut saying they
That
love
is
you?
absurd, man.
What's the next question? Because we got a lot of salsa to give.
Every time I have new people get on Talk Smack with Mac, I sit back and I hold my tongue for once, and I give y'all the opportunity to let the guests or let the viewers know anything that you have coming up next. Any movies, any TV shows, anything that you're directing, songs that you have coming out, podcasts that you're doing, anything that you want to share. This is your chance. We'll start with Adrian, and then we'll
Why are you
go
starting
around.
with me? Don't start with me. Start with me. Go. I'll go last.
All right, we'll start with Felecia, and then we'll start with Lluvia, and then we'll go around. There you go.
Okay. So I am finishing editing my first short film. Yay! Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And I'm very excited because it's a lot of work. And I honestly just kind of did it in the moment. So it was more like just to be able to say I did it. It's amazing feeling. So I'm finishing editing that film and hoping to submit it by March or end of February to festivals so it could start circulating. So I'm excited about that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And honestly, I haven't been doing a lot or accepting a lot of roles and work, short of like this. I was telling her of a commercial I'll be doing soon, but just, that's just like a fun thing for me to do, But other than that, I've been kind of taking a little step back on that for personal reasons and stuff going on. And I think this year for me is more of a defining year, if you will. Like, and I want it to be something that defines as far as my acting career goes. Whether it be I'm going this route or I'm going this route, or I'm very much trying to be more selective with my choices as far as what I'm doing for acting roles. Because before I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, because it's fun. I love it. I like doing indie, no, that's all good. But then it's like, wait a minute. How am I ever going to do this if I'm always focused on that? I need to move this focus from here and focus on that so I can accomplish this, because this is the goal, or thing. So that's what I'm going to be doing this year. I'm not going to say more of that, short of maybe the only thing that I do want to accomplish else this year is finally doing the music video for my second song, Soaring Higher, which we came up with the plan last year, didn't end up happening for whatever reason. So I'm hoping this year we'll be able to do a music video for it. And that's about the only thing that I can focus on right now, because focusing on too many things at once will just
overwhelm you.
So for now, that's what I'm going to do.
amazing. I'm so happy.
Appreciate
for
that.
you.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Oh wow! Congratulations. Alrighty then. This is my turn. So this year I've been really procrastinating with my podcast for so many reasons, and for years now, because I'm like, oh, maybe I'm not ready. But I think God actually, I'm not going to say think, I know God was like, no, this year we're not playing around. Like, you have enough experiences, and I feel like not enough experiences, because there's never enough experiences, but from what I want to talk about my podcast with Late Nights with B,
It's going to be about relationships, life, you know, everything that we talked about and more. And I feel like I'm grateful for those times that I've not procrastinated, but laid off that podcast dream, because I'm like, I know that's a vision of mine because I had dreams about it. I know God told me about it, but I just don't know what to talk about. I just don't know what to say. I don't think I can relate. And now that I've experienced life in a different way, I'm like, you know what? I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about it. I'm ready to talk about different perspectives. And I think this year for me is all about putting me first and knowing what I want, standing in what I want, making sure that it aligns with my creator, because sometimes what we want and then we'll do something and it's like, girl, that was not it, you know,
but God
because
will
it didn't align.
God will show you in
for sure. So I think with that time that I was like, you know what, let me just put this on let me just take a break and really decide, like not decide, but really take time with myself, you know, not in a relationship, not being a mom, but with self, and seeing exactly how this purpose is going to be fulfilling to my harvest, and what seeds am I going to be planting that's going to allow me to be sure that this podcast is going to be supplement for me, you know, and not just for a podcast, but it's going to show my everyday actions. So it's not, y'all watch Late Nights with me, but in real life, you're really not like that. So I want to be able to be that person and not only just do my podcast, but be more in my community, more, you know, giving back in my community, going back to serving, going back to just, you know, being an activist like I used to be, and just, you know, being a voice for a lot of women and myself that been through some things, and that can just, you know, have that voice. Because sometimes it's hard for us, you know, it really is.
I feel like this podcast might help like jumpstart that everything. You just have to trust that you know what you're doing and you're ready for it. And I think that's the scariest to jump. And that will maybe jumpstart everything else that you have. And you'll never know how God's going to use that podcast that you have and what it'll turn into. So just trusting that, and obviously praying on it, and God will give you the discernment to how to do it and start it and when and how, and it'll just kind of maybe take a life on its own. And I'm sure, as you know, as a podcast person, creator, then how it kind of does. So I think trusting in that will definitely.
Because it's like this year, it's like no more sleeping on yourself. It's no more sleeping on yourself. It's more
that's how I'm
getting
feeling.
up. You got to be dedicated. No matter how you feel, you have to keep going. So I feel like this year I'm so dedicated in making sure that I'm spending as much intentional energy within the parameters of my purpose, of what's going to make me be better, not what's going to make somebody else feel better, but what's going to make me be better. And hopefully, and I pray that with this podcast or, you know, other adventures that God has for me, it's going to be worth the wait that I did for myself, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
That's
so
awesome.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And let us know when it's out so we can, like, you know, follow you. Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I've actually had a lot of amazing things happen. I am currently about to shoot a web series. I am going to be part of Comedy of Errors Shakespeare play, which is going to be touring all the different parks, and it's free for everyone to attend. So
send the info, girl. I'm there.
Yeah. So there's like several different shows coming up. We start rehearsal soon, and then I got cast in a movie with Charlie Day, so I'm waiting for that to happen. So yeah,
my girl is. I'm telling you, she's on fire. This girl,
she's the what?
She's the celebrity. She is. She is going places. I know it. I love this girl.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
I'm very thankful.
Congrats on
I
that.
love it.
Yeah.
Look at us.
That's it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you mean that's it? That's not small. Like,
Yeah, no, she can hit you with a bomb.
Yeah. Like,
I got these movies coming out, and I'm doing some plays.
I'm going to go last. I'm going to let y'all know what I'm about to do.
The best for
I
last.
started first, so I
And we're just trying to keep up. That's it. But no, I truly want to appreciate, you know, every which one of you, you know, all three of you for getting on the podcast. Valentine's Day special. I don't usually do this on Talk Smack with Mac and talk relationships, but I feel like it's needed. We're in a time where I feel like because of the influences of social media, we don't know where the hell to go in a relationship. We have social media telling us one thing, we have our heart telling us another, and then we have history telling us something else. So we're just trying to figure it out every day. And one thing that I could take away from this podcast is the main thing is communication.
Yes.
Thank you. If you just sit back, yes, and keywords. If you just sit back and listen to the person that you're with, have genuine interest in how they feel and what they want and where they want to go, I feel like your relationship is going to be fine. But it comes down to being honest with yourself and then honest with your partner. Communication, man. Preach it, do it, and live it. Yes. And for us,
communicating also goes with listening. By the way,
oh,
it's not just
that's why I started. That started with listening. You have to listening. Listen, not to respond, but listen to listen.
Yes,
baby. I generally want to know how you feel because how you feel makes me feel some type of way, and I want to make sure you feel amazing. Because I feel like that's going to be reflected onto me as well. Absolutely. You know, let me self-love and let me go out and do what makes me happy. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to give all that to you.
Yes, I love, not to cut you guys off, but Pastor Mike Todd, he says it's not about perfection, it's about progression.
Yes.
So it's like
we're never perfect.
If we can just progress,
we'll be a little bit better than yesterday.
We'll be a little bit lighter, you know?
Yes. Being honest.
You can run in place.
You can run in place.
Yes.
Sweat and all that.
Yes.
And go nowhere.
You can run in place. It's like, I love his sayings too. Of like, you know, I'm not even gonna go on that. I'm sorry.
Right, so we'll stick on Denzel and we'll end this podcast with I'm from around the way, so I'm gonna leave with something.
What does that mean? I don't know what that
Are
means.
you trained or untrained?
And that sums it up for this episode of Talk Smack with Mac. I appreciate all y'all for listening, man. We're out.
Bye. Okay, for sure, for real. What does it mean? Somebody tell me. Somebody put me on game. What does that mean?
That's Denzel.
Oh, I'm gonna leave with some.
He said, I'm from around the way.